Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
It's a trap.
It actually is a trap.
It's a trap.
I'm dying to see what America's going to do to this. I'll use my favorite word again, clusterfuck, 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 clusterfuck.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
To confuse the public about science, to confuse scientists about science.
We would prefer to not have kids on the continuum of risk, if at all possible. But we recognize that's not possible because kids are kids, and there's many, many, many reasons why they choose to do different types of things. I started saying that, we wish, at least from the FDA's perspective, that kids were not entering into the continuum of harm, but once they're there, how do we care for them? And, our messaging is prevention based, and so we're trying. We certainly acknowledge that teens are teens and that they are experimenters. If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful. But vaping alone, especially if you've never been a cigarette user, vaping alone is not benign. And so we try to give them that frame of reference. And what I would say is kids are incredibly smart. I'm sure both of these gentlemen, I'm sure, see that. And they have a crap detector a mile wide. Like if we were to message proactively to teens that vaping is not as harmful as smoking, there are people on both sides of that argument, right? Mm-hmm. One is you could just give them the facts and let them make the decisions. The other side of the argument is then you're getting rid of all the protective factors and you're kind of giving them license to use. And so, we have not tried to tackle that directly in any of our proactive messaging. But when we get questions specifically in social or direct message, that's when we have that one-on-one dialogue.
Right.
Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to the show. I'm saying hello to everybody all at once. Nah, I'll say hello to you. But Jason was first tonight with the "Give me liberty or give me death" from my favorite person in history, Patrick Henry, because we both have the same first name. But anyway, Jason and Steve and Peggy and Michael's and there's who Michael Redfern Michael Redfern. I already said hello to Michael. Oh, so everybody, people are here, people are ready, people are excited. Well, I hope I'm excited because it's a 3-day weekend. It's a holiday on Monday for all of us that labor, that work for the betterment of our wallets. And the utility companies' wallets and the bank's wallet and all the other wallets, because it all disappears and it all just goes from one wallet to the next, and then eventually nobody has anything except for the banks. But anywho, Kevin's back there in the back room. He's all I can see he's chomping at the bit. He didn't log in early enough for us. Here we always bullshit in the back room, but he didn't do that tonight, so he missed all that. But here, let me play the pointy Kevin intro and get him in here.
Everything's fine. Calm down. Two things. A, are you here next week or the week after?
I am here next week, but not here the week after.
the week after that works out wonderfully because I'm having a boob job the following week. So
September 11th, I'm actually on an airplane. So everybody pray for me that doesn't happen.
Stop it.
Because I won't be able to defend myself because they've banished everything except for you can't even have like nail clippers on your person, Kevin, when you fly now. So
I heard. See, I don't have to worry about that because I don't fly. And part two, I heard there was a quiz. Is it open book or not?
Oh, Kevin,
because
I
identify as fucking off if it's not open book.
You will love this test. You will love this test. I promise you. I skimmed it.
Give it away.
I skimmed it. They've put a lot of effort into some research on this test, Kevin. I promise you, you will get none of them correctly. I promise you.
To recap, we're not going to be here the 11th of September. I guess is what you're saying.
Well, the 11th of September is on a Wednesday, so it would be the 13th. The Friday after that I would not be available because I'm going to see my mommy.
Yeah.
And all of you can just, enjoy my time off because I need to see my mommy. But anyway, Kevin, how was your week? What did you do? Anything fun?
Arguing with insurance company for my home, and that's all we got.
That's always enjoyable, arguing with people that have all the power and you have none of the power. Yeah,
they're going to raise my rates for no reason. So there you go.
Yeah, that happens. Well, as you get older, Kevin, you'll notice
30%.
30%.
Yeah,
I'd be looking for a new insurance company.
Well, I've been with them since I was 17.
I would be looking for a new insurance company.
Well, they have two choices. They'll have two choices. A, you're going to drop it back down to where the fuck it was, or B, I'm going to leave. I'll take my business to wherever the fuck it goes.
Yeah. I promise you, insurance agents love to undercut other insurance agents.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you say I've been with the same company for 30 years, the insurance agent says this is a loyal customer. Let's kiss his ass because he will stay here. Even if we fuck him a little bit later, right now, we're getting him.
Yeah, Dad had him since 76. Now the son, who's taken over, basically. So there you go. Yeah.
I always like pitting them against each other. Well, I got a quote from this guy, and he said, "You can't get this guy. I'm going over there."
They raised the taxes, the property tax, and the amount of your homes, and now it's going to cost more to fix them. Obviously, I understand that 30% is not. It's not.
But every year I have to go to the courthouse and argue with the tax assessor and say, "Look, I have done no improvements. My fence needs to be replaced. I haven't done that. It needs to be painted. I haven't done that. I have done nothing.
Cats out back.
I've done nothing to improve the quality of this house, and you are trying to raise the value of my house $16,000. I don't think so."
Right. In fact, you lower the property value as long as you stay there, right?
I said my neighbor's property value should be less just from being beside me.
There you go. That's
I barely I don't even mow the yard. I have a guy do it, and I don't let him do it but every 2 weeks, so it gets really tall and unsightly to the neighbors.
And there you go.
I'm a horrible neighbor, Kevin.
Do you mind your business? If you mind your business, then
I do mind my business. I don't even know. I think I've met the neighbor on one side maybe twice, and never spent in the neighbor on the other side. Off and on a couple times, we wave at each other in the driveway, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's funny. That's fine.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you their names. That's how awful I am.
Yeah, well.
The other neighbor that was on this side, I actually knew him because I knew his mom and dad, because mom was a patient. Mom would come by and drop off fruit on my front door because they had fruit trees. And once they realized that I was the neighbor of their son, even after we she discharged and no longer needed my services, they still
liked you? Jeez.
Well, I did a good job. I cured her. I healed her. Let me.
All right, let's go. Come on,
Steve's complaining about something over here. Let me make sure my audio settings are correct. Yes, it's the correct microphone. It's the correct headphones. I don't know what he's saying. Everything looks correct on my end, Steve. Turn your mic. If I'm too quiet, turn up your volume. Yeah. But Kev, we have Canadian friends. Sometimes
I have Canadian friends. You have people in Canadian.
Well,
areas.
Okay. But I don't know that I know anybody directly in Quebec.
Oh, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I may or may not. Maria Papa, that girl that I cannot say her name is Quebecois. So I'm pretty sure we know at least one person in Quebec.
Janine?
But Steve says for the neighbors. I get you now. But apparently, the Quebec government is trying to push through a law that would require vape sellers to attain a liquor license. Now, I don't know. I mean, I don't know for sure if these people understand that there's no liquor in e-liquid. It's nicotine. But for one thing, I need to make sure, I don't want to be snooty here, but it looks like they misspelled the word license. Which is very... So, and I'm wondering if in Canada or in French Canada, do they spell license with a C?
Probably.
Yeah, because there should be an S over here where the C is. But okay. But it says here, the Convenience Industry Council of Canada publicly called on the Quebec government to require all sales of vaping products to have a grocery-grade liquor license. Oh. Mm-hmm. So it's not the government, it's the damn convenience store assholes. Okay. Mm-hmm. In doing so, the CICC hopes to combat certain vape shops that are currently circumventing the regulation on the sale of flavors. Since October 31st, the sale of vape flavors has been prohibited by law in Quebec. Vapotories, Kevin, vapotories. Vapotories, of which there are about 400 in Quebec, have circumvented the regulations by disguising themselves as convenience stores so that they can sell flavors in the form of food flavorings, said the council's... Also, they're doing flavor shots. I get ya. Said the council's vice president, Michael Gadbois. According to Gadbois, at least 80% of vape shops do not comply with the regulations, compared with less than 5% of conventional convenience stores. Mm-hmm. Oh, did you see Rod showed up too? Gadbois estimates that because of these circumventions, depending on the location, we have lost between 2 and 50% of the market for vaping. Oh, so the convenience stores are pissed off because the vape shops are stealing their customers. That seems kind of sketchy, Kevin.
Contrary, yeah. Hunky.
Yeah, hunky. I think they're just being evil. That's why I really think that everybody should just move over to the Rumble. If I could get everybody just to watch from the beginning on the Rumble, then we could circumvent all of this nonsense. But anyway, by making possession of a liquor license compulsory, the CICC hopes to force delinquent businesses to change their business model and comply with the law. Well, I still don't get how a liquor license would help.
Now, see, if you take a number 6 hook and you thread it through the left side
Vaping
instead of the right side.
nicotine sales. I don't understand the logic. There is no logic in this nonsense.
Oh no.
But it is, I do understand, because Quebec is one of those very nanny-ish places. They made all the vape shops cover their windows so people walking down the street couldn't look into the window to see what they were selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made it look like a porn shop. It makes everybody's sketch level goes up when they walk past a retail place and the windows are all blacked out.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, that just makes it sound like, or makes it feel like something bad's happening in there.
It's official.
Steve,
somebody just can't spell.
Steve says that he had a margarita vape once. I can tell you, the gentleman that we mourned a couple weeks ago that we discussed, my friend Sean Skull, he had a line of liquid that was sold through Gorge Vapors, and he had a strawberry and a lemon lime margarita liquid. Jason says, I have a whiskey liquid. I have tons of whiskey liquids. I mean, I got like 18 different versions of bourbon in my flavor stash over there. I had a really good cognac liquid flavor.
Cognac or cognac? Which is
it? One of those.
I don't know.
But I used it all up and I can't get it anymore because it was an exclusive flavor that was made for some friends of mine that we were doing a mixing team together, and the flavor company that made it. Well, they were actually friends. I mean, Tic Tac is part of the friend group there. He's here sometimes. But anyway, so yeah, the Quebecers, they like to make vapors feel really bad.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So now they're trying to push the convenience stores are trying to push out the vape shops because they're stealing the convenience stores' vape customers.
Well, in my unsolicited opinion, if let's say the alcohol license cost me $30, I'd buy an alcohol license and never just not sell alcohol. That's all. Fuck them.
Well, I'm sure that the vape shops are not selling alcohol.
Right.
But
correct.
I guess since they're selling flavor shots,
somebody got convinced
that they're operating as a convenience store because they're not just selling vape stuff anymore, apparently, because that could be used to make cocktails.
Right. I think their syrup's tainted or something because they're fucked in the head.
Well, I mean, again, America's hat is kind of a crazy place, Kevin.
Bunch of jug heads.
I'm really concerned for our Canadian friends, Kevin.
I hope all their Canadian friends make their own, and that's my best hope.
Well, Jason, I know that Jason is still testing my green stuff because he keeps. I asked him the other day, was he still enjoying it, and he said yes, but my flavor likes to change profiles every time he takes a toot off of it. It's very elusive.
Already then.
Well, you never know what you're gonna get. I like it. It's like my Forrest Gump, Life is like a box of chocolates.
Well, yeah.
But here, Kat, in Tennessee, I'm pretty sure this is. Let me scroll down here real quick and make sure I'm not talking out of school here. I'm pretty sure
out of school
that this is. Yep, I was right. Johnson City, Tennessee.
Johnson City.
I was right. I sometimes my geography sense is correct. Okay. Most of the time, I've lived in so many places. But this is from the Johnson City Press, Kevin, and it says Unicoi County Jail looks to sell vapes to inmates for money.
What else would they sell them for, Patrick? Anyway.
Well, I mean, I sort of, anyway, I think those guys and those convicts in the prison that don't want to smoke cigarettes and want to, try something healthier, they definitely should have the option to use their commissary money.
Yep. Why not?
On a safer alternative. I have no problem with that. The Unicoi County Sheriff's Department wants to sell electronic vaping devices to inmates at the Unicoi County Jail in order to bring in more revenue. If that's what they are, I want it so that the prisoners can actually serve their whole time, Kevin.
That's right.
I don't want them dying of smoking in the middle of their sentence. Let them vape so that they can serve their whole 20.
That's right.
Chief Deputy Frank Rogers told the Unicoi County Commissioner on Monday night by the meeting's end, the commission voted to go forward with creating a budget amendment that will be voted on next month to fund a pilot program. The amendment is likely to fund $7,000, which would provide 3 months worth of devices. Before Rogers made his way to the podium to speak during the commission meeting, he handed each commissioner an electronic vaping device, encouraging them to use it. He said the ones he provided would be the ones used by the inmates. Such programs have been enacted, in nearby counties like Greene County and Washington County, Rogers said, calling such efforts game changers for the jails there. He informed the commission that he had been in contact with the sheriffs of each county and that the amount of money they made from selling such devices in their commissaries was substantial.
Mm-hmm.
Sheriff Mike Hensley also chimed in on Rogers' proposal during the meeting, saying that such devices were making their way into jails anyways, and that making them available to the commissary would be a step in the right direction. Hensley said that with overcrowding in the jail, having to pay for health care costs for inmates and struggling with revenue, the program would benefit the jail. Damn right. I like this Sheriff Mike Hensley for sure.
That's right.
So now we're making money off of selling the because they have like paper vape devices, Kevin, that they sell to the inmates so that there's nothing dangerous and they can't make a shiv out of it or anything. Plus, there'll be fewer bronchitis, in the wintertime, and people won't get sick so much. That's it's good. I like it.
There you go. Less harmful.
Yes. And you don't have to have matches to light them or whatever, so their inmates won't be burning each other. And
that's right.
Yeah. It's a revenue generator, Rogers said. It's that plain and simple. When you have the problems we are having, it comes down to money. We need money, and this will help us go a long way. Rogers says that he expects the program would generate $100,000 a year off of an $8,000 investment, Kevin.
Damn.
That's what they said the initial funding would be, right? Oh, $7,000. Yeah. So the decision to go forward with budget amendment was approved unanimously by the commission. All right.
Wow.
So I
screw the FDA.
I have no problem with that, Kevin. At all.
We've seen less violence since we've allowed this. Let's keep allowing it.
Yeah. Let's keep doing
We've seen healthier inmates. Let's keep allowing this.
Yeah. We've
seen less contraband. Let's allow this.
Yeah.
Less fighting. Let's allow this. Why are the people in charge of prisons smarter than the government?
You would think like the ACLU and all these, very progressive human rights for the prisoners people would be just in love with that idea.
You think?
Yeah. Here, I got a video semi-local to me. This is from San Antonio, Kevin.
Oh, I saw something about Texas.
The News 4 I continuing to investigate vapes disguised to look like school supplies. It's an issue state lawmakers say they may address in the next session.
The I-Team's Jordan Elder joins us with a look at the vaping law in effect new this year and new proposals to make it stronger.
State lawmakers have already taken aim at vapes and e-cigarette companies that are marketing toward kids. As of January 1st of this year, this law makes it a Class B misdemeanor for vapes or e-cigs to use certain cartoons and characters, images of food or candy in their marketing.
Well, Kevin, I mean, my marketing on my e-liquid is pretty boring. It's just green words on a white label.
We done told you.
Oh, and I don't sell it to anybody, so there is that. Yeah. But now it's a Class B misdemeanor, which is a citation.
Ooh.
Kevin.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
But how does this apply to vapes that look like school supplies? That gets a bit complicated. We brought a few examples of these vapes to show Representative Josie Garcia, who co-sponsored the original vape marketing bill.
Cart inside, features, wow, it's just a pen, bro.
So, Kevin, you remember when this originally came out, the highlighter vape, and everybody said, "Well, it's not available in America. It's only available." And I said, "Yes, it is." She's got one in her hand.
She's got one. Look at that. I want one.
So yeah, there are sketchy assholes out there selling this stuff, Kevin.
He says it's clear these pens and these highlighters aren't marketed toward adults. Is this something that you could see the legislature?
Well, Kevin, that's not absolutely true. I know plenty of people that vape that probably have jobs that they're not allowed to vape at their desk and would have a cup of pens on their desk and could sneak one of those into their pen holder.
Yeah.
So the boss wouldn't catch them.
Yeah, of course.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Children are not the only sneaky fuckers out there. I'm just saying.
It starts with an idea and inspiration. You know what?
So any of you that work in an office situation, you could get one of those pen highlighter vapes, you know.
I should get one and hide it from Janice.
I need to get one just so that I can swing it around here on the show, but you know.
I'd like it. If somebody has one, I want one. I want one more than
it said banana. It said banana flavor on one of them, so
I might try that. I don't know.
Now it could be, you know, remember when you were a kid, Kevin, and they had the markers that had scented ink in them?
Yes.
It could be just one of those.
Could be.
And these people
I'll even take an empty one. I don't care.
Are sniffing it really, you know.
They're taking back up. Absolutely. It's our duty as lawmakers to make sure that they're not skirting the laws and that they aren't marketing a very dangerous item to children.
Comptroller Glenn Hager agrees.
Very dangerous, Kevin.
His office is in charge of educating, warning, and issuing violations to shops that don't follow the new marketing law.
This wasn't just a first step. This was really a giant step, you know, a very significant
Jason,
step.
But already,
Jason, you have a wrench and you can post links, but YouTube will slap my ass if you put links to vape products in the chat room. Just saying.
You know, I'm thinking Glenn there's derelict in duty. He's not.
He's the comptroller, Kevin.
He's not able to do his job.
He says companies are trying to sidestep the law and smoke shops are running into trouble.
We've done roughly about 150 different inspections. We've had 30 plus different violations and penalties that have been assessed.
Now, Kevin, these are, what's the word I'm looking for? These are more than likely combination tobacco retailers.
Yeah.
They, you know, but to be clear, these are state enforcement actions. These are not FDA enforcement actions.
Well, no.
So when you look at the list, this is something that I always have to bring up when we're talking about those FDA warning letters and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says, "Oh, well, there's so few of them." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's because these shops, these 30 violations here, do not get sent to the FDA.
No, they don't care.
Yeah. I don't think you can mute a wrench. I don't think if you have a wrench, you can mute a wrench. Somebody put him on a 5 minute. That is one of the options you can mute it. But I don't think you can do it to another wrench.
I thought they were all our friends.
I'm turning them on each other, Kevin.
Oh,
That's about 20% of inspections resulting in a violation, mostly for marketing to kids.
Here we twist it.
Oh,
I asked Comptroller Hager.
It's a working pen too, Kevin.
What's it got to do with the tape dispenser? You fucking retards.
I don't know. Maybe the tape dispenser is also like a fruit roll-up dispenser.
And State Representative Garcia about some of the devices we obtained
Banana
through online
honeydew.
retailers and how Texas can regulate those spaces too.
To really crack down on this, it does have to be a collaborative effort with our federal partners.
I think it's something that'll continue to be at the forefront of the legislature for the upcoming sessions.
For the News 4i team, I'm Jordan Elder.
I'm glad.
So they're going after the But Kevin, this is like an old thing because we talked about the highlighter vapes like 8 months ago.
Yeah, I remember a whole bunch of press stenographers got packets of fucking vape stuff so they could take pictures of it. Remember that? Like
I'm sure that, Campaign for Tobacco Free Kids bought tons of them, I'm sure.
I believe that's who that sent it to them. Yeah. Either way, I appreciate open honesty with incompetence. I love that. It's beautiful that these underage, brain damaged children can still outsmart the adults.
Oh, now Dan wants a wrench. Now I got to go over to YouTube. I can't do it from here. I got to go over there.
If he gets a wrench, I get a wrench. I want a wrench. Everybody gets
a wrench. Don't you have a wrench?
I don't use it. If I do, I probably
I don't think you can use it from StreamYard. You'd have to open it up in Yeah, but I will go over here. I will go over here to Dan.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
I'm gonna give Dan
listen to damn wine.
Adding him as a standard moderator. Let me scroll up and see if I can find vape in it and confirm that Vaping Links has a wrench, Kevin.
Well, good.
Everybody has a wrench. You get a wrench, and you get a wrench, and you get a wrench, and you get a wrench. Everybody gets a wrench.
Yeah, I do have a wrench. I see it.
I'm waiting. I want everybody, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a dodgeball.
Festus too, somebody said.
Oh, well, Festus? Come on.
Y'all can all wrench yourselves.
Where's all these damn wrenches? Oh, there he is. I found him. Now, really, the only job of the moderator, the only job that I really authorize people that have a wrench to use is to hit Pornbot when Pornbot shows up.
Yeah, don't do it to parents that vape and Stan might pop in.
None of those people actually ever come in here, Kevin.
Yeah, but
we've invited them, but they never come.
I saw that.
The Surgeon General, he's been invited. Tahir Turk's been invited.
Yeah.
I invited a public health system today to come on the show
to help us with our quiz, right?
Yeah, but
that's why I was assuming it's open book, and then you disappointed me.
So Kevin, now who does not somebody have like a fund with money in it? If somebody shows up with proof of harms of vaping, isn't there somebody that had like a $5,000 fund or something?
Dr. Gardner, that I and probably half of us have already allotted money for. I think I'm at 200.
Well, you better be getting your money out, Kev.
All right.
Because a doctor
here
is showing an X-ray of popcorn lung caused from vaping, and it can be fatal, Kevin. Bronchiolitis obliterans
check my math.
Can be fatal. Obliterans, Kevin.
You could check my math. You will die if you get it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it is fatal then.
It can be fatal, Kevin. I mean, it has the word obliterans in it.
Yeah, popcorn.
Actually, that is a chest X-ray. It is a.
Is it?
Yeah, it is, but it's a positive from a negative. So a doctor has shared an X-ray of a potentially fatal condition which can be caused by vaping. By now, we're all very aware that habits such as smoking and vaping are not good for us. Ever since the candy-flavored e-cigarettes became popular among young people, countless amounts of warnings, restrictions, and even outright bans have been rolling in as health experts scramble to understand more about what vaping does to our bodies.
Oh, there it is. We don't know enough.
One of the more concerning side effects linked to vaping over the past couple of years is something called popcorn lung, and it can be fatal. It can be fatal. Fatal.
Okay. Could, may, might. We don't know.
Yeah. So here we go, Kevin. I was trying to see if this video would play.
In tonight's Health Watch, more disturbing news about the dangers of vaping.
Doctors believe they discovered a new type of lung injury related to vaping. Dr. Max Gomez here to tell us the story of a teenager who had something called popcorn lung. Doctor.
That's right, and it's called popcorn lung because it was first found in workers in a microwave popcorn factory who breathed in the flavoring used in the
Were
product.
they vaping?
This young man's lung damage was likely caused by vaping flavored THC-containing products.
Whoa.
Oh.
So they were in a popcorn factory, and then they were using THC
So
at
now-
popcorn factory. That's what I got so far.
Now, where's my
Okay.
mortician friend? Jason.
You say
That
he's
does
your
kind
friend.
of look like Alex Trebek. A little. So now he's saying that popcorn lung and E-Valley are the same thing, Kevin. Let's do this again.
Used in the product. But this young man's lung damage was likely caused by vaping flavored THC-containing products. Meanwhile, vaping-related injuries in the U.S. number more than 2,200 with 47 deaths. By the time the 17-year-old boy was admitted to an ICU in Ontario, Canada this past spring, what had started as a bad cough had developed into a life-threatening illness.
He was on life support, and
So you see these kind of little
neat
the infiltrates is what this is. These little, you know, things are. Yeah. I bet you $10 if you found a chest X-ray from a THC E-Valley victim, it would look like this. Now, the only way, Kevin, to actually diagnose bronchiolitis obliterans popcorn lung is to do a lung biopsy of a dead guy.
Huh.
That is the only way.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Except for the guy that's dead.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
The only way to actually empirically diagnose that is to have a biopsy.
I said earlier, I was
Post-mortem examination, Kevin.
Post-mortem,
yeah.
and we were concerned that he might not survive.
Dr. Karen Bosma, who
Well, if
treated
he
the
had it, he
patient,
wouldn't have.
says his lung...
Oh, now there is a cure, Kevin, for
If you're
bronchiolitis
dead?
obliterans. Well, I mean,
what?
they can give you a heart-lung transplant and then do a biopsy of the lungs that they took out. They can also do it that way. I forgot. I want to
But
be clear.
if you're dead, then how are they?
So now, if she tells me that this person was cured, or survived, and no longer has
bullshit
bronchiolitis obliterans, then this.
Sorry, I got a
doctor
little
needs to
popcorn in
be-
my lung.
They need their medical license revoked. Now she is a nice-looking doctor. Don't get me, yeah.
just didn't follow the usual pattern of vaping-related lung injury that has emerged in recent months, particularly in the United States.
He had a diffuse pattern. So if you picture the branches of a tree when in the springtime when a tree is budding, that's what we were seeing on these images of the CT scan. And that's a pattern that is in keeping with damage.
Doctors diagnosed a type of lung injury known as bronchiolitis, also known as popcorn worker's lung. Small airways in the lungs become so inflamed and obstructed they can't expel carbon dioxide, which can then build up to toxic levels. Popcorn lung is different from the type of injury typically seen in vaping-related illnesses, where the damage occurs in the tiny air sacs or alveoli at the end of the airway. New York State investigators are testing vaping devices to see which compounds may be causing the lung illness. The Centers for Disease Control has identified vitamin E acetate as one culprit.
Vitamin E acetate does not cause bronchiolitis obliterans, Kevin.
It does.
It does. I told you that they're just getting the two different things confused with each other.
Well, it does. It does.
She may have a presentation that is different. That happens, Kevin.
Yeah.
Some patients have a disease and it doesn't show the normal symptoms.
Right.
Presenting
itself differently. But it seems like they're trying to tell the truth within the lie, so they're really not sure.
Yeah.
These ones experts doubt that's the only one.
We absolutely continue to look for everything. We have not just sort of say, okay, we have found vitamin E acetate. We will continue to
Brian's
analyze
brother
and tease apart whatever chemicals are in the samples.
And meanwhile, the e-cigarette industry is pushing back against the total ban that's being proposed at state, local, and national levels. They say that the vast majority of vaping injuries are linked to black market THC products. They point out that in the UK, where e-cigarettes are encouraged for smoking cessation, there have been no vaping-related deaths. So we still have a lot more to find out about what's causing it and how to prevent it.
Sure sounds.
Well, there's no nicotine vaping related deaths in the United States, Kevin.
No, but it's
none.
It's a miracle. The UK's never had one,
and they're this diagnosis of popcorn lung, is also a false diagnosis.
Oh, got a little more popcorn in there.
I mean, you can open you can actually do the research, and every source that I've ever read about. And I'm talking about scientific journals. I'm talking about actual medical textbooks and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The only way to diagnose that is actually taking the lungs out of the body.
There you go. So far, I can honestly diagnose all of you. None of you got one, any popcorn lung in your systems. And that's a good thing.
And unless you're
brave,
lucky,
be happy,
you're
vape all
able
you
to
like.
process enough CO2 that you're not outgassed, because people that have like really end stage COPD, Kevin, they can still oxygen sat at like 92%.
Yeah.
It's just that their bodies have to work extra hard to get that oxygen level up.
Labored breathing. Yeah.
Agonal breathing.
Yeah.
But
so vape all you like.
Yeah, just try not to vape any.
Does it work within your life and lifestyle? Good for you.
No. Don't vape anything with oils in it, Kevin.
Don't vape anything you don't
pneumonia or all sorts of really weird.
So they're going to Mickey your drink. They're going to Mickey your vape. Know your source. And if you are indulging in other types of vaping products,
make sure that you buy them from legal sources.
I don't think Patrick cares either. I really don't. But you should know your source. Like when this first started, and we were well aware of it. And what's the magazine? Leafly. I emailed, I bet 8 people within my immediate family and a few of their friends separately, and said, "Listen, you little shits. I know what you're doing. I don't care that you're doing it, but I love you enough to tell you to know your fucking source so you don't fucking die."
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
But they weren't vaping products like these. Hey, I'm using my e-leaf. I dug it out. Look at that.
I'm still chugging along with my little smock thing here, but I do have my I need to give me a tissue here. Tissue. What are you meowing already for, Kevin?
Well, pigs in them. I just calm down.
We're way far away from the meow.
Yeah, I know.
We just started.
Just a tease. I'm sashaying. I'm wiggling my tail a little just because I'm all excited about it. What? Anybody got popcorn lung yet?
Just double checking my K fun here.
K fun. Boy, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
You got a little popcorn lung in you?
No, there's definitely no vitamin E acetate in this because I made it. I know exactly.
Okay, that's fine.
So, but there's a horrifying, Kevin, horrifying simulation that shows what really happens to your body when you vape and smoke.
Oh, thank God. I've been waiting for this.
Yeah. So, horrifying simulation shows what happens to your body when you vape. Vaping can have a paralytic effect on your body, and what it does to your organs is pretty gross.
Just put your McDonald's down for a minute and pay attention, people.
Pretty gross. That's gross, Kevin.
Oh my God. You just see, this is why I don't even do my own show. Because I'd be so fucking pissed off, I'd tell everybody to fuck off and turn it off.
Yeah. So Neema Spence over here, she says, it's not exactly new news to say that vaping comes with some pretty horrendous side effects, like not smoking. But now you can actually see what the chemicals do once inside the body, and it's pretty horrifying, Kevin.
Well, I've always been afraid. Yeah, and I'm fearless.
The horrors of long-term vaping are widely spoken about in this day and age, including tragic stories like a man who has given 1% chance of surviving. Now, I did fix this because she said 1% change of surviving, but, you know, after developing a vaping addiction, or a 17-year-old having a 5.5 hour surgery to remove part of her lung after vaping the equivalent of 400 cigarettes per week.
All right, I'll just mute myself because this is actually a comedy fucking article.
Kevin, according to the NHS website, the full effects of vaping on the body are still being discovered. The website reads, research on vaping related harm is rapidly developing. Current evidence suggests that vaping are less harmful than smoking tobacco products, but they aren't risk-free. Those are horrendous side effects, Kevin. Most vapes contain nicotine, which is highly addictive. They also often contain other ingredients like propylene glycol, glycerin, and flavoring. Well, that's actually true, Kevin. They do contain propylene glycol.
I'm talking about the addiction bullshit.
Oh, okay. Yet now a new YouTube video has shown exactly what happens when the chemicals from a vape enter the body, and the effects are devastating. In the video shared by the infographics show, it shows how the chemicals target the lungs and can create buildup on the mucus and alveoli, which the body needs for using oxygen in the body. So, Kevin, the mucus in your lungs coats the inside of your lungs and catches crap, that, you know, particulates and things, and then Kevin, your body expels that. That's the mucus's job.
Yeah, I'm answering you while I'm muted.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking something up.
So now there's a little picture here. This is yeah. So it is described as having a paralytic effect on the lungs and the cilia, which can take weeks to heal. The concern is also that when these cilia are damaged, it can mean the body is open to more infections and illnesses too. One of the major concerns for vapes is that due to the flavors and styles, there's been huge interest from teenagers and under 18s.
Yeah.
According to the Truth Initiative, Kevin, now we do have another name for them.
I knew this was a comedy piece. Just there you go.
A study last year found that 4.6% of middle school students aged 11 to 14 and 10% of high school state students aged 14 to 18 have said that they have used e-cigarettes or vapes. In the U.S., this equates to about 2.13 million students, with a further 11.4% of middle students and 29.9% of high school students reporting that they use vapes daily.
Yeah.
Daily, Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Imagine that. So,
the eternal vape versus cigarettes debate is still raging on. In the red corner, you have cigarettes. the established foul-smelling way to intake your nicotine with years of research behind its effects. In the blue corner, you have the newcomer, Vapes, with little research behind their effects and nice-smelling clouds of nicotine to mask their dangerous nature.
Now, Kevin, I'm going to play a segment of this, but I'm wondering, because this particular video I saw linked to about 20 different articles this week. So I wonder how many clicks is the infographic show getting off of this video. It's a 3-hour long video. We're definitely not watching all 3 hours, Kevin.
No. In fact, I've had enough already.
Well, I do want to get to the simulation part. So
get to the simulator. Is it like the lungs?
That's
themselves?
What happens when you smoke weed.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I haven't done that.
What happens when you die?
I want to see the lungs.
What happens when you stop?
Show me the lungs.
When you drink.
Them nasty
diet
dirty
soda. If you stop eating. If you stop drinking.
It's a point to my madness.
I'm looking for that's sleeping. I hate this. If you eat leftovers, is smoking weed bad for you?
Well, yeah.
If you stop eating sugar for 30 days. So, they're getting a lot of mileage off of this news story, Kevin.
It's a lot of propaganda. Yeah.
Well, what happens if you never hold your pee?
Ooh. Oh, I don't know.
So it must be down here.
You'll wet your pants eventually, imagine. Or die from toxicants, right?
Yeah, I'm wanting to see. There's the valley there.
Bullshit.
Here, let's skip ahead.
Nicotine, right? Well, just like with cigarettes, it's not just the nicotine that you have to worry about. Vaping really took off in the West in the 2010s when it evolved its own subculture. The explosion of popularity was so fast.
Subculture, Kevin. We are members of the subculture.
Oh, look, there's me and Fig.
Yeah, that Fig did have pretty hair, and
I don't know if I ever.
I think he actually had. I don't know if he had a beard with no mustache though.
I never
not yet having regular.
That's a little bit too hipster for him.
Regulations in place. Bootleg e-liquid started showing up on the markets, and just like with alcohol during Prohibition, most of the bootleg stuff wasn't exactly made with consumer safety in mind. Back in 2019, the United States experienced an outbreak of over 1,600 cases of unexplained lung injury, 34 of which were fatal. The victims of this mystery illness had one major thing in common. They were all vapors. 92% of patients admitted they'd been using black market THC vape cartridges, while the remainder reported only
92% admitted it. The other 8% lied.
The other 8% were under Jerry's care, and he didn't do any clandestine testing.
Smoking nicotine. The CDC notes that this might not be entirely reflective of the truth, since many of these victims lived in states where cannabis was illegal at the time. The lung injury, which doctors now call e-cigarette or vaping-associated lung injury, or EVALI for short, is primarily caused by an additive called vitamin E acetate, which is a type of synthetic vitamin E typically used in topical skin cream. Research has suggested that while vitamin E acetate is harmless when applied externally, it might have adverse effects on lung function.
I'm going to be mainlining some vitamin E acetate later, Kevin.
Patrick, he alluded, whichever side you like. He said, well, those are illegal in those states, so we're not really sure.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Just so y'all are paying attention about me paying attention.
Actually, that was quite truthful, though, Kevin. He said we can't be sure because they're not going to self-report those 8% that didn't answer.
Well, they're illegal, so they shouldn't have been able to get them.
If inhaled. Though this is the prevailing theory, the reality is EVALI could really be caused by any number of chemicals and additives that you can find in vape juice. At first,
now he's lying.
How old is
glance? Vape juice is typical ingredient.
Huh?
How old is this? Is this new?
Brand new. This just came out this week.
Not doing enough research for 3 hours. They did 3 hours.
No, the vaping part is only the first section. The next section is about weed. Then what happens when you die? What happens when you stop? All of these are different topics that they've just put together just so that they can get more traffic to their website.
Nothing about getting strip searched or hogtied or tased. No, okay.
None of that.
It seemed pretty simple. Most e-liquids contain propylene glycol, which is pretty common in foods and medicine as a solvent. It serves as a base liquid that suspends the nicotine and flavoring. If the e-liquid doesn't use propylene, it'll probably use vegetable glycerin, a food thickening.
Most of them use
VG. Yum.
Yeah, because most of I'm almost positive all of the flavorings are suspended in PG.
Yeah.
So there will be some PG in all e-liquids.
There's a mix. Yeah. 80, 20, 50, 50.
I've never seen flavor companies do suspensions in VG. That doesn't say that it doesn't happen. I've never seen it, and I've bought flavors from every flavor house on the planet, I think.
Agent, which serves the same purpose but creates a denser vapor. With those as a base, the rest of the ingredients are nicotine and whatever food coloring and flavoring the manufacturers feel like adding. A lot of people would look at those ingredients and not see a problem. The kinds of flavorings and additives in e-liquids are probably also found in most kinds of soda. So what's the issue? Well, what they're not taking into account is that even though vapes use electronic atomizers instead of fire, they still create carcinogenic substances.
Lie.
Even out of non-toxic materials. Wow. Since there's still so little regulation on the ingredients of e-liquids, there's always the risk that two perfectly innocent elements, when vaporized, could combine together to create something toxic. There are also plenty of things that, while they're safe to eat, you really shouldn't be inhaling. Take diacetyl, for example. It's got a scary sounding name, but it's fairly common in artificial flavoring used in the US.
Oh, and it's so awesome in its buttery goodness, Kevin. I miss my diacetyl.
The popcorn.
I miss my diacetyl.
To flavor things like instant coffee, caramel, fruity drinks, and to add a butter-like flavor to microwave popcorn. It also occurs naturally in some wines. Sounds pretty tasty, but trust us when we say...
Yes, it does. Through the
I know.
Okay. The tannins from the barrels mix, and they create awesome goodness over time.
Sometimes I'm just clutching my pearls for show. Okay. Calm down.
I'm still waiting for this simulation. I haven't seen this simulation.
I'm holding a comment for our friends about this simulation. I want to see it live.
I haven't seen the simulation. I think we live in a simulation, Kevin.
Something like that. I want to see lungs just like that.
But I have not seen it.
There ain't.
So you do not want this stuff getting in your lungs. That's because if it does, you might develop a chronic condition called bronchiolitis obliterans. This nasty illness is colloquially known as popcorn lung due to the fact that the first recognized cases of it were all employees at a microwave popcorn.
Now, Kevin, to be fair, let's put this out there. No commercially available e-liquid in the United States or in Europe has diacetyl in it.
If they do, it's way less than it was because they got never mind.
Now, I do know for a fact that some of the flavor companies in the last year have reintroduced their original formulations for other things.
All right.
Like they're selling them. They're not selling them in the vape world anymore, but they're selling them in their candy world, and they're selling them in their food lines, but they're not selling them on the websites that sell vape liquids.
Factory in Jasper, Missouri. They spent so much time around the diacetyl that they ended up breathing in enough of it to become toxic. Following the discovery of the disease, a lot of food companies have switched out diacetyl for less harmful flavor compounds, but since it's still approved by the FDA, it still finds its way into a few products. As you can probably guess, flavored vape juice is one of them. A 2016 study published in Environmental Health Perspectives reported that out of 51 e-liquid flavors, 39 contained diacetyl.
That's 8 years ago from a 2016 study, Kevin.
Where are my lungs?
Another chemical, cinnamaldehyde, which
now we do know about cinnamaldehyde, Kevin. And that will I used to vape a shit ton of
Shit,
red hot fireball, e-liquid. And that stuff would etch a plastic tank like crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's fine in glass, but if it'll etch a plastic tank, Kevin,
Yeah.
do you really want to inhale that? I mean, it.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, but I and most, if not all, I'm pretty sure all of the e-liquid companies reformulated.
I'm pretty sure they did too. I'm pretty sure. I didn't
As you
realize.
can probably guess, is found naturally in cinnamon, has been shown to impair lung function in a study done by the University of North Carolina. These are just two examples, and given how inconsistent vape liquid production tends to be, that could just be the tip of the iceberg. Overwhelmingly, the advice from medical professionals tends to be that if it's not air, it shouldn't be going in your lungs. This is because it can disrupt movements of the lung cilia. Cilia are the little hair-like structures inside the lungs that move in regular wave patterns.
We just
Their
talked
job is
about
to
them.
push bacteria and other nasties up and out of the lungs so they can be coughed out. Cinnamaldehyde, formaldehyde, and a bunch of other chemicals that end in
Formaldehyde, Kevin. Do I have to talk about formaldehyde again?
Stop nerding out. Cilia. Oh my! I didn't realize we were a comedy show.
Well, it's just that these are things that we have been covering for years.
Yeah. Where are my lungs? I want my dirty ass lungs. Put them on. I guess there's no point. I'll just go ahead and do it. If where are the community notes?
Okay, so Kevin,
Yes.
Kevin,
What?
Kevin,
What?
Kevin, Kevin. So the AI, the Google AI,
Oh God. Yeah.
says that the human body produces 1.5 ounces of formaldehyde per day as part of the natural metabolism. Formaldehyde is a reactive molecule that is created by all living things, including
and you're
plants,
not dead
animals,
yet.
and humans.
Yeah.
So 1.5 ounces, Kevin. How much is that?
Well, it's more than a swallow full. I'll tell you that. It's what is it? 3
1.5
teaspoons, 4
ounces.
tablespoons? I don't know.
More
than a shot.
1.5 ounces is approximately 44 milliliters.
Yeah. Okay.
So more than a 30 ml bottle of e-liquid.
That's a lot.
Per day.
That's a lot. Every day? That means Janice and I do 90, what is it, milliliter?
90 milliliters.
Oh
almost
my
100
God.
milliliters. I mean, this is a 100 milliliter bottle right here, Kevin.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
In
30.
2
That's 30,
days,
I think.
in 2 days, I could almost fill this up with formaldehyde.
Just you and your wife, and you're full of a lot of hot air, so it's probably more.
Maybe it could be.
I bet it's 110. It's got to be with you.
This horrifying, formaldehyde, Kevin, is so awful. It's poisonous to the human body because it preserves dead bodies.
That damn,
Jason?
them damn coroners and funeral directors, and you just.
We need to figure out to supply Jason with the necessary amounts of formaldehyde that he needs to do his job. We should be selling him formaldehyde.
He's in the back room talking to people a lot longer than he needs to.
Well, as long as he's only talking to them and not doing anything else, you do hear stories of things going on.
I thought we
in
were
the slab.
Lungs.
Formaldehyde can have a paralytic effect on the lung cilia, which can take weeks to recover from. During that time, your lungs are missing a crucial line of defense against infection. Like we said before, formaldehyde is often added.
So, I'm still waiting for this horrific simulation, Kevin. This is promising me a simulation.
I'm curious that Has anybody living ever been like over formaldehyded?
Well, the mummies.
Because you've been exposed to too much formaldehyde, Mr. Rife. You're probably not going to die, but we're going to keep you overnight. Is that a thing?
I was promised a scientific simulation, Kevin.
Well, simulation.
I really feel like that we got gypped on this whole thing here.
We got snookered. So I'm going to hit my enter button, and y'all can go run off and look at that anytime you like.
Well, that somehow broke it up into 2 messages, Kevin. I don't think anybody can do anything with that.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, did you see that? It broke it up into 2 messages.
All right, I'll just do the one.
Yeah.
Cigarettes and the effects of that on lung cilia of regular smokers have been well documented. The fact that other aldehydes, even the ones that are safe to eat, can have the same effect when added to vape liquid and inhaled is a relatively new discovery. All right, so now we've explained the science behind the effects of both. It's time to answer the question, is vaping really healthier than smoking cigarettes? If you asked, most experts would probably tell you, yes, but only barely. E-liquid contains less nicotine than your average.
Barely, Kevin. But he says that most health people would say yes, but this is ridiculous. And like I said, this particular version of this news story was in like 30 different 30 different news stories with this video linked to in all 30 of them.
Look at Jason just tearing down my dream. Look at him. I don't even like him. Fake Kevin.
About ammonia?
Well, there's a formaldehyde thing going on, and now he's going to tell me there ain't. I just don't like him.
Cigarette, and it usually doesn't contain any acetone or butane, but that doesn't automatically make it a healthier alternative. In fact, given that the effects of vaping still aren't fully understood, it is likely that
we don't know, Kevin.
New information could come out sometime in the future that proves it's just as bad.
I'm very disappointed that I was promised a simulation of what vaping does to your lungs, and it was a cartoon misinformation bullshit thing.
Financed by the Truth Initiative, right? Basically.
Yes.
I'm glad they're doing all that. Because
well, I don't know who infographics they have. I'm sure they have sponsors.
So when you guys,
I'm sure their YouTube channel is monetized.
I imagine it is. So when we repeat repetitive lies, sometimes on purpose, sometimes because we're making fun of them, that just cements the lie longer and forever. So early on,
always and forever. Oh,
right, exactly. There you go. And I appreciate the scenario, Nate. Thank you. So, I early on, I thought, well, is that lung real? Did they just take that out of a cadaver? And then I noticed through my own little quick Google fucking research, you can buy lung kits.
Mm-hmm.
So you said the word simulated earlier. Now, I've seen and heard. I've never done an autopsy. Thank you very much. I don't think I need to do that.
Oh, it's fun.
I'd probably just fall on the floor. But I've heard, seen, told, whatever, watched, read that someone who is smoking's lung, I'm assuming, unless it's cancerous or the obliterants, for example, are basically the same as mine or yours. They're all pretty much pink. They're not black like they portray them to be. I don't know that for sure because
Kevin, when you do your initial Y incision,
you
have to have a really steady hand when you're making that incision.
Well, sure. If you don't want to make a mess.
Well, not only that, but you don't want to nick any of the underlying bone or organs, depending on how far down you got to go all the way down.
Yeah.
All the way. So be very, very careful.
I don't want a real one.
I haven't done a post-mortem exam in like 25 years, Kevin.
But are they pink? Are they yellow? Are they brown? Are they black? Doesn't matter.
The organs? They're all different colors. You talking about the lung?
Yeah.
They're well, after you've done all the necessary stuff, they're sort of gray.
Right, but everybody's is. It doesn't matter who's smoking.
Well, I mean, I've seen some really fucked up lungs. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some black shit.
Okay.
And Jason's correct. Smokers' lungs are brown or tan. Yeah,
brown or tan. All right, so there you go.
I've seen some really nasty shit though, especially if they've been underwater for a long time or out in the sun for a long time. And,
yeah, that I understand. Yeah.
Predators have been at them, and it's
You mean tobacco control has a hobby? Oh, never mind.
The elements have done their work. It could be pretty, could be pretty fun. But here, Kevin, the FDA.
Oh, yeah.
I got some news from the FDA today.
I bet you did.
This is from ABCW Bay.
Oh, look at all that free advertising. Look at that.
Yeah, let's see. Let's
free tobacco.
Let's see. I bet you there's an
First, we'll
advertisement.
update a new federal rule when buying tobacco, Aisha, at the First Alert Safety Desk now, and this includes e-cigarettes, Aisha. That's a topic you've covered quite a bit.
I have, Emerson. The goal of these changes is to make it more difficult for young people to get access to those products. Starting September 30th, so in about a month, the new FDA rule will require retailers to check ID of anyone under the age of 30 who is buying tobacco, and that is up from the previous age limit of 27 at the First Alert Safety Desk. I've reported on the.
They're saying that anybody, the current rule is that you have to card anybody that appears to be 27 or younger. Now, how in the hell do you tell what age somebody looks like?
Is that politically correct?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'd be happy swiping my fucking card for any age.
Doesn't matter. Shouldn't matter.
I think that everybody, regardless of whether they appear to be 100 or if they appear to be a baby face 21,
I'm a card you. Don't care.
I think that everybody should be. I mean, they do it for booze. Nobody complains about
weapons.
that. Well, I mean, maybe somebody complains about that, but I think just to prevent any fucking shit, I'm happy if I go to the store and buy a pack of Zyn, or if I'm, whatever.
Isn't that really?
If I'm buying some Zemo, or if I happen to be going and buying a can of General Snus.
We ID. That program has been around. The We ID program has been around forever, as far as I can remember.
Well, yeah, but the We ID program was actually a big tobacco initiative. So a lot of people are, well, it can't be beneficial.
We don't like it.
It was Big Tobacco's idea.
We didn't think of it. That's where I was going.
It's like when I suggested to Safada and VTA years ago that they make all members of their organizations just buy an age verification software package, and they were like, oh, we don't want to do that because that's expensive. And I'm like, it adds like 30 cents to each transaction. Charge
whatever the cost is. Cost doesn't matter.
Pass that on to the consumer. Do it.
There you go.
You know how many businesses could be saved if we just said, hey, we are voluntarily scanning every ID that comes into our store and buys product.
And I would say most vape shops are.
You can hide a 30-cent charge, and you can up. You can add
put it right on the
cents
receipt
to the sale of every e-liquid. I mean,
30 cents to help keep your freedom.
Yeah,
you just put it right on there. Fuck them. I'd pay it.
Yeah,
who cares?
chronic rise of more kids and young people reaching for e-cigarettes, and it's all about the access they have to them. This rule is for traditional tobacco products too. The FDA says its final rule also restricts tobacco vending machine sales to places limited to people 21 and older. Parents, listen to this. The campaign for tobacco-free kids, it says about 250 kids become smokers every day in the U.S. Studies show 9 out of 10 adults who smoke every day report having their first cigarette by the age of 18. The federal age limit.
Stop. Do you see the flaw in the past 3 sentences yet, Patrick, for you and your brain?
I actually, my brain automatically skipped when they said legal access, or the access, because they don't. Michael Redfern got it right in the chat room. They don't have legal access to this.
Well, if they smoke, 250 underage kids a day smoke.
And if 250 underage people a day, Kevin?
A day smoke. A day. So what does that tell you?
Take up smoking.
Take up. Let's say 100 a day take up smoking. Who's not doing their jobs?
Their parents.
Who's
the
not
retailers, the school. What? There's a whole bunch of people that ain't doing their fucking job, Kevin.
Oh, so you're saying the access, compliance, and enforcement is an issue?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just checking. Go ahead. Keep going. All done.
For tobacco purchases was actually 18 until 2019 when it was raised to 21. The FDA this morning says the other reason for this change is because it's often difficult for retailers to tell someone's age by just looking at them. Also,
then just then card everybody.
Could you explain to me the extra part of that flaw? God.
That's the question I asked at the very beginning. How can you tell that somebody is 27 and not 26 or 28 and not 27? Or how does a 30-year-old look? I know some fucking haggard looking 18-year-olds that could pass for 30 easily.
Well, yeah, of course.
And I know some 30-year-olds that got baby face that look like they're 10.
If Dustin shaves, he'll get carded. And if he doesn't, you'll never know. But he's 30 in February.
Yeah. Well, of course he's your kid. You're like 80. Of course your kid's going to be in his 30s to 40s, Kevin.
I need some extra tips, by the way, because Logan's starting kindergarten in a couple weeks. And I want to make sure he doesn't get strip searched. So if you got any helpful hints,
buy him one of these. Anybody try to touch him?
His mother told me that he must not have anything but a plain, we'll say drab, a plain pencil box. No decorations, no stickers, no fun, just a plain old box.
So he couldn't have I have a Pennywise the Clown lunchbox back there, or I have a Empire Strikes Back lunchbox over here. He couldn't take that to school with his lunch in it because it's.
I guess not.
It's personal,
Well, this weekend we're going to talk about freedoms, just so he understands.
Steve's got an idea. Give him a body cam.
That's a good idea. That's a really good.
Jason says that he had a cigar box as a pencil box as a kid. I think I had one too.
See,
I know I had it. I don't know what was in it. I might have had my stash in that. I'm not sure, but I did have a.
That was in my locker.
a cigar box. I never put anything in my locker, Kevin. My locker was empty the entire year. I kept a book bag with all of my fucking books in it because I didn't have time.
They issued me a book, and that's where it would go.
I didn't have time to go to my locker in between classes when I had to go smoke a cigarette in the bathroom before I went to.
No, I carried my cigarettes. What are you, stupid? I just carried those.
If you had to go to the locker and then go, you didn't have time. So, I'd go to the teacher's lounge and light up a cigarette. And
beautiful.
It's a good idea.
All Lord.
Says it will keep doing compliance checks to make sure businesses
No, they
are
won't.
not selling to underage tobacco users.
No, they won't.
Well, I mean that one, the state that we just showed, they did 150 buys, and they got 30 bads out of 30 or out of 100.
I just tweeted the Montana guy or Mississippi or wherever the fuck he is, Missouri.
Missouri.
He's the attorney general blabbing about he's writing 5,000 retailers to stop selling these stuff. This stuff. Yeah.
Firmly worded for it, Kevin. I promise you.
I found the Sign Our Amendment actually report from their state. And there's like 400 violations. What are you fuckers doing? 400?
Yeah.
You're saying it's an epidemic, and you found 400 or whatever the number is. I forget.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
So this next one goes under the column of snitches get stitches, Kevin.
Body cams.
This is news. This is a newscast from Australia. A news story in Australia. Who is it was a penal colony, Kevin.
You said penal.
Which means that this is an island of people who were genetically chosen to breed with other sneaky bastards.
Ew. You see Mel's in the room.
And should be as rebellious as fucking possible.
Have you met Bruni?
This makes me weep for my Aussies.
For time eternity, they have been pretty much useless. Sorry, young Ian, but you are 2.5. You're doing a great deal at the moment. But now there's a glimmer of hope as the South Australian government went full steam ahead with this week with plans to use Aussie kids as undercover spies to bust illegal vape sales.
The SA government is super serious about protecting its young from vapes.
Just in the past year, we've seen an almost doubling of the number of young people who are vaping in South Australia.
And now, as part of the crackdown, they're proposing radical new tactics.
We've got to deploy all the measures we can. All the measures we can.
That's how to send in the little guys.
If I told you we were putting a team together, you're going to need a crew as nuts as you are. You got in mind?
It's kids. They want undercover operatives, kids under 18, to swagger into local businesses and see if they'll be illegally sold vapes or tobacco.
What a novel
They're
idea.
calling it
Controlled operations. Controlled operations. This is essential.
So, Kevin,
they're making a mockery of
they're
this.
teaching these kids.
Snitches, rats. That's what
to
they
drop
do
a
here.
dime on the businesses.
But that's what they're doing here with the alleged.
We've been doing this for like a decade, Kevin. But
this making a mockery is funny though.
I mean, I do.
I like that.
But it's also the message
know.
that it's teaching the kids. It's okay to rat out people.
How many black market dealers are going to ID? None. Absolutely zero.
None. And they're going to the stores. They're not going to the park to the guy selling them out of the trunk of his car. They're not going on that Uber that we saw on the TikTok. They're not getting that. They're not going to get that guy.
Well, speaking of setting fire to tobacco shops, we are in Australia, aren't we?
They're not sending these kids to the cartel guys.
No,
that are firebombing their competitors in Australia. That happened.
Tax me.
They're going to the local dairy. They're going to the convenience store. They're going after those guys.
Actually, a
can't
sting
sell them
operation,
anyway.
Where we can send in kids to see if retailers will sell tobacco or vapes to young kids.
And everyone thinks it is a terrific idea. No notes.
Yeah, I must admit, when I saw this report, I thought it was something out of the Batuta Advocate. The idea of using children in sting operations in this way is pretty wacky. I think it raises some serious questions. How are these young people going to be recruited? Will they be paid? Can the government assure the community that children engaging in this activity are going to be kept safe?
Clearly, it needs to be done thoughtfully.
So they're going to have the SWAT outside.
Yeah.
And they're going to send this kid in who's got, I'm sure he's got like a wire, he's going to have a
GoPro.
A body cam probably and a wire.
Yeah. Hey, I got an idea. Put Tahir and Simon in charge of these kids. That way they can double recruit them. How to be stupid.
Kevin, I still get weird vibes from that Tahir guy. I don't know if I would any young people around him.
I wouldn't either. But it's just a suggestion. Where's Paul?
I get this like weird uncle vibe from him that I'm just, I'm concerned about. So I wouldn't suggest putting him in charge of children. I'm just,
Maybe Becky. She likes candy.
Well, she's a Canadian though.
Yeah, but she's over there.
I know, but she's still a Canadian at heart.
I've got other words, but all right.
They're making them probably not the best idea.
I think it's hideous.
That's insane. You wouldn't send anybody under the age of 18 into a tobacco store.
I think it's a terrible idea.
It's just completely unacceptable. Sorry.
Ah.
I'm sorry.
The SA government is also keen on other reforms, such as increasing the penalty for selling the lung-crunching devices to children to a mind-boggling
$1 million.
But everyone is holding their breath for the Spy Kids element. If it works, maybe we can use littlies for other jobs, like infiltrating bikie gangs, spying on China, or appearing on a modern reboot of Thorpe's Undercover Angels. Food for thought.
There's other ways to investigate.
I think it could be dangerous.
They're just kids at the end of the day.
Are they getting paid?
What are they doing, paying them?
Is there security involved?
Why?
What's the plan?
It's a bad move. No bueno.
I do like that they added a little bit of satire and comedy to this story, Kevin.
Me too.
This makes it way more watchable than that cartoon thing that we were just looking at.
More palatable. I've got a suggestion to.
And I like cartoons. Don't get me wrong.
Let's ponder this for a moment, shall we? You and I have to make a decision. A, we send in children who are underage. In what is it, clandestinely? And they walk in, they try to buy shit, and they walk the fuck out, and then they report back to us in the car.
Yeah.
Or
so we don't actually have to do anything, Kevin.
Or we sit out there because we're going to be in the car anyway, right? And we watch, and then we, whoever that authority would be, whether it's federal, state, local, some chuck-a-luck, says, "Hey, give me your ID. You just purchased something. I don't need the receipt. I just want to see the ID. What'd you buy? There you go." And then, okay, you're 18 or 21 or whatever it is. Wouldn't that be quicker, easier, and a lot less dangerous?
Our suggestion earlier,
Yeah.
just carding every sale of tobacco products like you do every sale of
would
liquor,
alleviate most of the troubles, yes.
would just solve the problem.
And if you don't, you get a $500 fine as a clerk, and you get a $100,000 fine as a store.
No, 1 million Aussie
1
dollars,
million.
which is
Okay,
like,
fine.
which is not much. It's like $5 US. I mean, the conversion rate is really beneficial for us right now. Kevin. Don't try to ship anything to Australia though, because I'm hearing that the shipping rates to Australia are astronomical. Now, the funny thing is, shipping
Send me the
something
link,
from Australia to the United States, not so bad. But from America to Australia, really crazy expensive. I crowdfunded a graphic novel from Australia, and I just got shipping notification that it was on its way here because they can get good rates. American creators that are producing product, if they sell them to Australia, they have to find somebody in Australia that they can ship in bulk to.
Oh,
and then have somebody in Australia break up the packages and send them to individuals in Australia. It is not cost effective to send multiple packages. Crazy.
We'll be asking a lot of questions because at the moment this just sounds like some kind of kindergarten cop scheme.
Paying them in vapes, hopefully, bubblegum vapes. Elise, you think good idea, right?
Well, look, normally I don't like exploitation of children, clearly, but
Good position to have in general.
Good one. But
Jesting aside, the vaping situation, in particular with teens, is terrible at the moment. They're targeted at young people with all their saccharine.
Now, Kevin, in Australia, it is already requirement that you go to a pharmacist to buy vapes. Now, I know that there's currently some pushback there because apparently, the pharmacists don't want to do it. But there's also a politician in one of the parts of Australia. There are several different regions or whatever, who is currently saying that the law that requires them to be sold in pharmacies is not strong enough, and that he's not allowing pharmacists to prescribe them now. He's pushing through some sort of legislation that would prevent pharmacists from actually selling them. So Australia, like I said a while ago, is a nation of the descendants of criminals,
hoodlums, all of you, the lot of you.
They know how to create black markets. I'm pretty sure.
Well, duh.
Pretty sure, Kevin, that they're pretty experienced because they've been doing it for a very long time.
I did like mostly the tongue in cheek of that. That was pretty funny.
That was our wavelength of sarc. A good amount of
Not
sarcasm.
funny as in you're rolling on the floor laughing out loud funny.
Oh, but a little chuckle.
Humorous.
There was a little chuckle there, Kevin. Little chuckle there.
I'll give him that one for a change.
Yeah. Let me rub this one and get it ready here. I'm getting. Some of these video players that these websites have are annoying, but this one doesn't have a commercial. So let's present this one. This is the dangers of student vaping, Kevin. The dangers of student vaping.
I know what they are already.
Yeah, we'll see.
Look at this ball.
Yeah.
Welcome back to HRS. According to research, 3,500 youth start vaping every single day.
What? 3,500, Kevin. That last piece that it was 150.
250 children smoke every day.
Oh, okay.
And 3,500 a day start vaping. Now
that's 3,500 people that won't get lung cancer.
How long before we run out of children?
Safer or healthier than smoking, but our next guest says it presents just as much danger. This segment is sponsored by the American Heart Association. Andrew Strobel is
at least he did that little bit about the sponsored by American Heart Association. So this is what we call embedded advertisement, Kevin.
School engagement director. She joins us with more on what they're doing to educate parents and bring awareness to the dangers of vaping. Andrew, welcome back to HRS. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Actually, I really do like this topic because, when I was in high school, it seemed like everyone.
Now, at least this is not a video package one. This one is a real life interview in the studio, person to
With a
person.
human. I'm not impressed.
There was a lot of smoking going on, and now it's vaping. Tell us about the problem, how it started.
Sure. So vaping or e-cigarettes are now
Oh, they wanted to. Oh, let's see.
electronic cigarettes.
She's the school engagement director of the American Heart Association, James.
Yeah, that's necessary.
Well, he asked what her title was. I
Tell
just
us
wanted
about the problem, how it started.
Sure. So vaping or e-cigarettes are now electronic cigarettes. And the marketing is really targeted towards youth and adolescents. And so
the marketing, Kevin, have you seen any advertisements or
Not
billboards?
since the guy from Blue or Jewel or whatever, that fucking
Stephen
Dorfman
Dorff
guy. That's the last time I recall anything, and I only saw it like 3 times.
There was a Courtney Love one, and
I didn't see that either.
that was all about 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
There was at one point I want to say a Mark 10 commercial. that used to play on CNN pretty frequently. That was all like scientists and lab coats and stuff like that. Jeffrey.
Mallory snuck in, by the way.
I know, right?
Let's
I haven't seen
Nancy
any marketing or advertisement for any electronic vaping product in a
There is
very long time, Kevin.
There is none. Zero. Well, no, I take that back. Every non-profit political front group does it.
Oh no, they
along with cigarettes, they do that too. We just saw
On their
that
social medias, they're doing lots of marketing for vaping companies
all the time.
Yep.
So they are now flavored with sweeteners. There's additives. The packaging is really colorful, so it really is marketed towards them. And it's really become a problem with mental health challenges, and the correlation between vaping and mental health is very strong as well.
So correlation.
The correlation. Kevin.
Ooh, the correlation. Oh,
she's doing a reverse correlation though. So is the mental illness? Does the mental illness exist before the exposure to vaping?
We already know.
After. We know the answer to this question because we have covered it quite well on this show, and we can pull all sorts of science out of our asses if we really.
We had it predicted by Dr. Gardner. He predicted exactly what they've done.
I have video.
Dave and Charles are prophets.
I do have video.
Crazy stuff.
Where's
Right
that
here on the #1 show on Friday nights named Smoke Free Radio.
Where is that at?
Oh, you have a clip of it.
I do.
That's right.
I'm trying to remember which one it is. I think it's this.
I already know you don't think I listen to you, but
yeah. Let me here. Well,
rub that and make it bigger.
Yeah, let's go over here real quick. I can pull it up on my hard drive.
You got a hard drive?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It's hard all the time, Kevin.
Why are you talking dirty to me on air?
What was that? Oh, that was the scope.
Scope. I don't remember.
We did all those. We did those videos for.
Was that our 74-hour marathon thing?
That was the one where we did an hour or 2 hours every night for a week.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Pay attention.
Well, where's Charlie's folder? Charlie.
It's like 2 minutes. It's not even a minute, I don't think, actually.
Yeah, there's.
Predicted.
Yeah. Let's see. Is it this one? No, is it this one? Let me see.
I haven't seen Michelle, though, tonight. She's on the beach, I think.
I don't think this is right. I don't think this is the right one.
It may very well be. I don't know.
So these are new vocabulary words for a lot of people.
Yes. So it's a good video, though.
Neurotypical is someone who suffers from no mental health issues whatsoever. And neurodiversity is a relatively new term that's kind of politically correct for just the whole spectrum of different things. And it's people who are suffering from anxiety, people who have chronic depression, adults suffering with ADHD or autism, Tourette's syndrome. And so it's a whole range of things here that, I'm a former smoker, and I started vaping in 2014.
I don't think
and I've done a lot of things in global health, but I only began to look at the tobacco control stuff 3 years ago. And I remember when I started, because I'm a neurobiologist, so I'll take a look at what does nicotine do. And first of all, I found it was very difficult looking through the scientific literature to find what I was looking for, which is, well, is nicotine therapeutic for anything? Does it actually have any health benefits? Because most of the research is about smoking, right? But when you drill down, then you stumble across dozens and dozens and dozens of papers Somebody might say, well, it's not conclusive because we don't have the whatever definitive trial, but it really starts to accumulate. And people, for example, in the Parkinson's disease research field will tell you straight off that, oh yeah, nicotine is neuroprotective. It prevents Parkinson's disease. I mean, that's kind of a conclusive thing now. We've known this. The smokers have much lower risk. But we now also know that people in Sweden who use snus have a...
Look how young I look there, Kevin. I didn't have any, almost no gray hair in my beard. Look at that. You're talking and you're muted.
I said, yeah, and I'm putting comments on here. I kicked them all out, Steve, but it keeps saying this comment has failed to post to Son of Liberty Radio. That's weird. I never saw that.
What were you trying to put in there?
Then I kicked them all out. He said
Oh.
there was a party at my house because the kids are back, Jeremy and the boy. Anyway, he predicted that this was going to be correlated.
I actually do have that. I know where that is. I was trying to find the source file, but I do have Stinger number 6, which is the correct one with all of the music and everything. I was trying to find, but here, yeah, let's just do it this way.
But, then you've got people on the other side saying, well, but experts disagree, which is a kind of typical merchants of doubt tactic. And the same will be said for nicotine benefits in Tourette's syndrome, ADHD, autism, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, a lot of research is looking at cross-sectional studies.
Now, this is where he does the prediction.
That find associations and trying to claim that nicotine causes those things.
They want to
when all logic says that people with those things are using nicotine because it helps them, but so we're going to face that. But I mean, one of the ways to deal with this is to get people to tell their.
So, yeah, that is where he predicted that this young lady would be saying that nicotine causes those things instead of saying people that have those conditions seek out nicotine to reduce their symptoms.
Correct.
And he's a neurobiologist, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Appeals to young kids, and they start in high school maybe sooner than that. But what does vaping do to your body? And some people think it's safer than smoking. Of course, anytime you're putting chemicals into your lungs.
Oh.
It's not safer than smoking. That's really a contextual issue. If you're going to go from smoking tobacco to vaping, it might be better. But in the terms, in terms of adolescents vaping, it's not better because they aren't smoking tobacco in the first place.
Right.
Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Adolescents don't experiment and try cigarettes ever?
I'm still a virgin. In fact, I've never done anything wrong.
Yeah, from what I understand, you're not a virgin.
I know.
I heard some things.
That's a lie. They fucking lie.
Yeah. So she's claiming that kids don't smoke, and they go.
Does have a lot of impact on their airways. It can cause labored breathing, wheezing. It can worsen asthma symptoms. And the nicotine that is in one of those little pods can contain as much as a pack of cigarettes, so it becomes habit.
Okay, so there it goes again with the asthma. Now, did you see that we read the thing earlier about the girl smoking the equivalent or vaping the equivalent of 6,000 cigarettes in
400,
right?
That's 400. It doesn't matter though. It's 5 billion. Who cares? They're all
forming and can really impair brain development as well.
And that was my.
That's what happened to Kevin's
if
brain.
You started at a young age where you're still developing. This will only set you back. And breathing is critical to living. And if you can't breathe, I mean, you're struggling.
Absolutely. Yep.
Let's talk more about the common myths when it comes to vaping, because there's so many of them.
One of the most common questions we get is, is it better for you than smoking. You know, it's just water vapor. Is it really that harmful? The battery powered devices or the batteries in vapes actually contain metals. So those are a lot of times transferred into the liquid.
How?
Hey, leave my metals alone.
Kevin,
What?
the battery.
What?
The battery's inside of this device, for example, you know, and it somehow gets into the liquid. But then when you look at something like this nice wooden, you know, stabilized wood mod that I have here, the battery is here. It's green, so the battery is here, and the liquid is here, and nowhere do those two
interact.
How American Heart Association, you know. So, you know, this device has two batteries in here. It's not actually got any batteries in it right now. And the atomizer's up here. It doesn't ever. How is the?
It's
How are
coagulating.
the metals from the battery getting into the?
It coagulates. Is that the word I want?
No, because coagulate is like your gravy when mom made gravy on Christmas or Thanksgiving Day or whatever.
Oh,
and
that's what my lungs do. I'm
and
sorry.
That film, that's the coagulation. That's and then when you put it in your body, it does that into your arteries and veins. But you know,
well, look, I don't know what Karen's name
now
is.
This young lady here, I you know, I almost think that I see she has some blonde tips here. Maybe that's her roots have grown out or something. I'm, you know, very
Write
concerned.
him for all your comments. So comments and suggestions go to him.
I'm very concerned for her mental health and her, you know.
The liquid is then obviously vaporized into an aerosol, which is very damaging. So that myth that it's not bad for you or is better than tobacco is not true. There's a lot of chemicals and additives that are just more harmful in a different way than
Chemicals, Kevin. Chemicals.
More harmful in a different way.
You know,
than smoking.
The
more
scientific
harmful in a different way.
Yeah, the scientific definition of chemical is a mixture of different elements to create a new compound that is a chemical. So every time we breathe in oxygen, scientifically, that is a chemical.
Yeah. Hey, did you know who Nathan Zahner is?
No.
Nathan Zahner, he's 14, and he did the.
I don't generally go around knowing a lot of 14-year-old boys. Kevin.
I don't either.
It's not my thing.
He did the DHMO, dihydrogen. Yeah, he convinced
dihydrogen monoxide.
He convinced his whole class that water
or dioxide
was dangerous. So anyway, go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, dihydrogen monoxide.
And let's help the parents out here because, you know, along with your electronics and social media and everything, this is one more thing that parents have to try to stay on top of.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that parents can do to maybe help their kids out?
Yeah, the first thing I think is understanding why your child is vaping if they're having anxiety or stress around something at school. Thing to look at.
No. You just contradicted yourself, Kevin.
Cart before the horse, sweetheart.
Earlier, she said that vaping causes those things.
I
Now
don't
she's saying
I'm confused. Even the scientists are confused. For underwear. What did she just tell you 5 seconds ago?
She said 5 seconds
You
ago
can roll
that
the bean footage, you can leave
vaping
it
causes mental illness. Now she's saying mental illness
and then
causes
we went to
vaping.
Charlie, and then we went to this part. So
yeah,
where are you people?
To confuse the public about science, to confuse scientists about science. What a
underwear. Oh.
I need to find. I have that clip somewhere on the computer. I need to.
Boobies, underwear.
Creepy old man.
Out for is the fact that devices can be very discreet now. They can look like something like a household item, maybe a USB drive, an asthma inhaler. Kids are getting really sneaky nowadays with it. If a parent wants their child to stop or they want to help their child stop vaping,
They have a text program that you can enroll in, and you get text messages, Kevin.
It's a miracle.
That'll help.
It's a public health miracle. This text.
It's more addictive than heroin, but a text message program will help you quit.
But you can't have your phone during class, children. So you're going to have to use your clandestine vape until you get out to be able to text.
Yeah.
Having a really open conversation is really important. Maybe directing them to a guidance counselor to talk through the causes and why.
Guidance counselor, Kevin? I know for a fact that when I went to school, we had a guidance counselor.
Yeah.
But I don't recall ever going to them for guidance because they were,
I was called in.
I think I used to smoke with the guidance counselor.
She said, "Why are you sleeping so much in class?" I said, "Because I got a job."
Because this shit is boring as hell, and I'm not learning anything.
My God,
I already know all this shit.
They stuck my stupid ass in the work program, and I just slid right through the senior year.
Kevin, I was such an amazing student.
Yeah, I bet.
I had all of my college prerequisites already done.
Yeah.
So my junior and senior year, I went to the vocational school to do mechanical drafting just because I was bored out of my fucking mind. So half of the day I went to school and the other half of and I graduated and had all of my college prereqs already.
See,
school is a scam, Kevin.
I was getting out after second period and going home and either going to work or smoking pot.
Went to three periods and then went to Votech and drew for half a day.
I'm still confused over this mixed message.
This is very American Heart Association really needs to make sure that this young lady stays on script because she's already contradicted herself.
Salary's at stake.
Yeah.
Either vaping can be very helpful.
Kids have always been sneaky.
Yeah.
That's part of being a kid. So, and just being a parent is trying to stay on top of it. But the American Heart Association, thank you for doing this and taking this on because it's all about your heart. You have heart walks coming up.
Yes.
How can people get involved and maybe learn more about this?
I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
They didn't talk about the strip and the stripping and the tasing and the
No, they're not going to talk about the
beatings and the bats
child abuse. They're not going to cover that, Kevin. That's not going to happen.
I've already told Janice that if anything happens to Logan, she'll miss me at school.
You think?
I'm not going to wait.
You think she'll miss you?
Yeah. Well, she might. I don't know.
I don't know, Kevin.
Maybe she'll get a boyfriend. Who knows?
She might,
I doubt it.
She might step out on you. You never know.
That's all right. She's a big girl. She do make her own decisions. It's okay.
Yeah. Is
it time? You're
what?
pausing too far. Is it time?
No, I'm preparing for the next thing, Kevin. I have to make sure everything's ready.
No.
I have to make sure everything's ready. But are you really that eager, Kevin? Are you ready?
Just stop it.
I mean,
I'm tired. I can go to bed now.
Just for you, we'll do this now.
Fine.
It's time for the Vape Cats X of the Week.
Wow. Kitty.
Get a sip of my water.
Is that one yours?
No, this is yours. This is the first one you sent last week. So this is from Colin Rugg.
Oh,
who is a co-owner of Trending Politics, and he's an investor, and he's an American with an American flag there, Kevin.
Yeah.
It says here, new California liquor store employees gets jumped by a mob of teens before pulling out a handgun and sending the wild mob scurrying. The incident happened outside of Golden Hours Liquor in Oakland, California. That's our Smiling Friends' hometown.
Mm-hmm.
The employee got in a verbal spat with the thugs before he was jumped and assaulted. In an effort to save his life, the employee was able to make it inside the doorway of the store before he pulled out a gun, which he pointed at the teens, sending them away scurrying.
And there's the whole video. You don't even need to play. But yeah. Well, there's no
These are
sound, but there's no
unruly
need.
children here.
Well,
now they're throwing kicks and they're punching him, and
they're getting at him. They're getting at him pretty fucking good.
He somehow pulled out a gun,
and off
somebody ran away. Look at all those bicycles that got pushed over there, Kevin. That's not very nice.
That's more than a couple little hoodlums. That's a shitload of kids.
Yeah, that's a lot of
at a liquor store.
Some of them don't look like kids, Kevin. Some of them do not look like kids. Some of them look like full ass grown men.
Right, but they're at a liquor store.
Well, yeah, but yeah, some of them didn't look like kids to me, Kevin. I'm not saying all of them.
Children, your innocent children aren't really that innocent when you ain't looking.
No, yeah.
Was my point. It wasn't about the gun. That's California. I'm amazed he did that and that he's not been arrested for it. But
I'm surprised that he didn't get arrested for defending himself. But
I forget what the next laws are there.
The next one, Kevin, is from your friend Dick.
Shit. I missed your smart ass comment. What?
This is from your friend Dick.
Big Dick. I'm sorry we have to show the dick on screen in advance.
Yeah. Years after deadlines, FDA continues to face backlogs in reviewing e-cigarette applications. At the same time, thousands of dangerous vapes flood the market and addict kids. I'm calling on the Government Accountability Office, that's the GAO, to review FDA, DOJ enforcement activities. They just had, you weren't here, Jason and I were here. They just had a congressional hearing a while ago, maybe 2 months ago, where FDA and DOJ were there to discuss that they were just starting their joint task force, Kevin.
Can you show me a politician protecting cigarette sales and possibly worried that they're not getting approved quick enough while banning less harmful?
Well, Kevin, if you had been here,
yeah, I would.
Senator or Congressman or Senate from North Carolina was quite adamant that we needed to clear the market of these Chinese products so the good American manufacturers of tobacco products would have a fair.
There you go. My apologies for making this.
You weren't here because he did mention how those dirty Native Americans were starting to sell products, and you don't know what they're putting in them. Well, that's the same verbiage that he used when he said those Chinese people are making these products, and you don't know what they're putting in them.
No, of course not.
He decided to be as racist to the Chinese as he was to the Native Americans when he said, you don't know what they are doing. They are untrustworthy because that's what, I mean, I pointed it out when Steve and I were watching that, or Jason, not Steve. Jason and I were watching that clip.
Yeah.
That was very, very, very racist, what he was saying.
All right, this concludes our dick pic of the week. There you go.
So, speaking of dicks,
I saw that, Mallory.
Did she put an eggplant?
Move along, Zippy.
So Grove.
Yeah. See,
what percentage of them were humans that should have the basic right to bodily autonomy?
Now, you always complain that I pick our friends, and
yes, you do.
I say proudly, fuck off, because you know what? Grove is one of our unsung heroes who rarely pops up on my feed, and I saw that before I saw what he was responding to. For whatever reason, my feed's been really weird, and I went, oh, good Lord, there's Grove. Look at that. So I appreciate exactly what he said, and that's why I picked my friend. Grove. I assume you follow him. Highlight Grove.
I was
Grove
eating
has-
some nuts.
I don't
Kevin.
care. We're not, yeah, you had Dick Naga nuts. So if you haven't followed Grove, you should.
I followed Grove.
I'm just saying.
But Grove,
what a great way.
Grove's
to
tweet was in response to tobacco control, the BMJ.
Yeah.
Who's talking about bots again. Approximately 14% of tweets about the menthol ban mentioned over policing, and notably, over half of the users tweeting about these narratives had financial ties to the tobacco industry.
And there is the Track My Tweets tweet of the week. Because they're still tracking our tweets.
So, Kevin, do you get a check from?
I don't get shit. But you know what?
The tobacco
I
industry.
I should.
I mean, they offered me a check. I might take it. I'm poor. I need money.
It depends.
Mm-hmm.
How much is it worth?
Yale.
Oh,
you know, I like Yale. I will say that I do share his tweets pretty frequently on this show. Actually, last week I think I had 2 of his tweets.
Did you?
Yes. So he says, pouches, vapes, and snus. What do we make of this new age of less harmful, more social nicotine products? As our smoking rate declines to an all-time low of 11%, it means we're in for an entire paradigm shift in how we view nicotine. We should welcome it. And there's a thread. 1, FDA must communicate to adults the truth about nicotine alternatives to traditional tobacco, whether it's pouches or flavored nicotine vaping devices.
Yeah.
The risk of using these products is significantly lower, and every serious scientist, health professional knows it. 2, governments should tax lower risk nicotine products less. That makes sense.
If at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Pouches and vapes should not be taxed the same as cigarettes, full stop. If sin tax are here to stay, they should at least be proportionate, plus nudge consumers towards less risky products. Sweden proves this works. 3, health insurance industries must accept the risk profile of the new generation of nicotine products to recalibrate plans.
Still won't.
No. Insurance policies still equate smoking with non-tobacco nicotine.
Yes,
this
they
must
do.
reflect scientific reality and facts and save consumers tons of money.
I don't know about tons, but overall, yes.
Yeah,
I'm
but
still qualified as a tobacco user, and I've also given my opinion to that to my agent. I haven't smoked in 11.
I
12 years.
demanded a chest X-ray, Kevin.
Did you? Maybe I should do that.
And the doctor could find no damage to my lungs, so he said, "No, you shouldn't have to pay that." So, Kevin, our friend Marawa was retweeted or tweeted by the Asia Harm Reduction Alliance.
Oh, now see, I haven't seen her on my feed either for a while.
Not for a while. Putting the power of research into the hands of those most affected, we can gather more accurate, culturally sensitive data to inform effective interventions. And that's a tweet. That's Marawa Glover. So there is an article here, Kevin. And guess what we're going to do?
I bet you we're going to click on that bastard.
We're going to take a minute
and
to
melt
highlight our friend Marawa's
We're going to melt
press
the
release.
internet.
There are times that I wish I would. So this says, new toolkit empowers communities to conduct tobacco and nicotine use surveys. Press release from Choresis, that's her research group. Dr. Marawa Glover, a renowned expert in tobacco harm reduction, has launched a groundbreaking toolkit designed to empower communities to conduct their own surveys on tobacco and nicotine product use. The community-based participatory survey toolkit. Dr. Glover, a renowned expert in tobacco harm, they really don't need to repeat that same
Why
sentence.
did they do that? Either way.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. The community-based participatory survey toolkit provides step-by-step guidance for community groups, tribes, harm reduction advocates, and marginalized populations to gather crucial data on smoking and vaping habits within their communities. This toolkit is a game changer for grassroots organizations seeking to understand and address tobacco use in their communities, said Dr. Glover, director of the Center of Research Excellence and Indigenous Sovereignty and Smoking. By putting the power of research into the hands of the most affected, we can gather more accurate, culturally sensitive data to inform effective interventions. And here are the key features of the toolkit: a comprehensive guidance on survey design, participatory participant recruitment and data collection, ethical considerations and tips to protecting participant privacy, strategies for engaging community members throughout the research process, and advice on analyzing and sharing results with stakeholders. Yeah. While the toolkit is written in accessible language for community members, it also emphasizes the importance of collaborating with experienced researchers to ensure scientific rigor. That was with an R, Kevin. Rigor.
Scientific.
The resource bridges the gap between academic research and community knowledge. It's about creating partnerships that lead to more relevant and impactful studies on tobacco and nicotine use. And the toolkit is freely available at the website there.
I'm going to say it again because I'm very proud of it. Alan Beard messaged me early on in my Twitter sphere career, and said, "Hey, you got to mention 2 hours and 46 minutes or whatever it was at a nicotine symposium somewhere on the globe." And it was Dr. Glover quoting just a couple sentences of my survey. How Alan figured that out, found it, and then got it to me, I couldn't tell you. But that was the moment I was introduced to that woman, and I love her dearly.
Oh, hey Kev. Give me.
What?
Oh, yeah. Here it is.
Stop pressuring me. What? What are you talking about?
Look, there's a photograph of me and Dr. Glover eating barbecue. You see that?
Yeah, well, I love that though. I do. I can't hate you for that. I can hate you for everything except that.
You missed out on a really nice evening, Kevin.
I'm not flying to Texas.
Chicken shit.
I don't know. I've told her to just meet me separately. I don't want to see your ugly ass.
She didn't want to come to Ohio.
I know, that's okay.
There's nothing good in Ohio.
Just me. That's it.
So this is Loretta Mitchell. She says the reason they want to ban nicotine products is because nicotine has been found to be beneficial to health. So she's retweeting Father Calvin Robinson. He's a priest and a broadcaster from the UK. It says here, the tyrant in charge, Keir Starmer, says he is banning smoking because it causes preventable deaths. Diabetes is a top 10 cause of death in the UK. Is he going to ban sugar? Abortion is the number one preventable cause of death in the UK. Will he ban that? Well, I don't know if I fully agree with that. I think that people should be allowed to sin, and if they sin and they do something, that's something that they have to discuss with their maker when they meet him.
Yeah, well,
I personally don't like the idea. I don't like the practice of getting rid of babies, but that's your choice. That's something you have to live with. But she was retweeting the Father Calvin Harris, or Calvin Robinson. But yes, they're banning nicotine. She said because it's been found to be helpful.
Well,
yeah.
They don't want you enjoying yourselves. Calm down.
Oh, this is the one, Kevin.
Don't be sitting on your porch having a good time discussing their bullshit because they don't like that either. Which one is it? What?
This is the Spokane Health, Kevin. Spokane Health. It says here, do you know the facts about nicotine use and how it can affect you? See if you can answer the questions below. Then head to the link below to check your answers and learn more about how using nicotine can impact your relationships, your health, and your future. And then there's a take a short quiz, Kevin. So
this is stigmatization 101. How will this affect
we're
your
gonna check this
relationship?
website out, Kevin.
Oh fuck.
So it says here, choose you. Choose what matters. It can be, let's be honest, being a teen isn't always easy. When life gets stressful, it's important to stay true to you. Focus on the things that matter and find healthy ways to cope that work for you. When you need to unwind, choose you and avoid vapes that contain nicotine and can harm your health and mental well-being, Kevin.
Well,
so your mental health is just as important to your physical health. So when it comes to protecting it, knowing how vaping and smoking impacts your mental wellness is important. Tobacco companies market vapes as a de-stressor and want you to do they?
Well, we discussed earlier that we don't see marketing, and now not only are they not marketing, but they're not marketing with stress whatever you fucking who knows? I don't know, Patrick. They're all bullshit. It's okay.
Yeah.
2 things in Ohio, by the way.
Tobacco companies market vapes as a de-stressor and want you to think vaping is a healthy alternative to smoking, but they're not telling the truth, Kevin.
No, you're all fucking liars, you bastards.
Okay. Research shows those who vape are 2 times as likely to be diagnosed with depression than those who don't.
Well, that sounds like a smoker who quit smoking.
That's
and then
correlation causation situation.
2 years later has a heart attack because he's vaping. It's the same exact thing. You pieces of shit.
So when you're addicted, vaping might seem like a quick fix, but that's just nicotine covering your withdrawal. And though quitting vapes can be hard, it can improve your mental health as much as antidepressants. So they're saying getting rid of the vapes helps your mood as much as antidepressants.
Yeah.
Oh, let's play a video, Kevin.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Your show. No sound. Still no sound. Just some guys walking in a cloud. Still can't hear it. Bullshit.
You can't hear it?
I still can't.
Oh. Well, give me a second.
Hey, by the way, if you're addicted to nicotine, here's some nicotine to get you off your addiction.
Yeah.
Just in case you guys haven't caught on yet.
Yeah, let's okay.
Yeah, there was no sound.
A highly addictive drug.
All right.
When life gets stressful, finding ways to unwind can be so important. Reaching for a vape might seem like a quick fix, but vaping can actually make feelings of anxiety and depression worse.
Really?
Yeah, it does when you get pressured into being bullshitted all the time. It surely does.
Well, yeah, because they yell at you, and
strip you and tease you and
tase
bully
you
and
yeah, hog tie you.
Vapes contain nicotine, a highly addictive drug that can change your brain chemistry. When you vape, nicotine attaches to neuron receptors in your brain, triggering the release of a chemical called dopamine.
Neuroreceptors, not neuron receptors.
Hey, Patrick, when I was about, I don't know, 14, I quit smoking. I had been smoking. I quit. I started running. And I didn't know what it was until a few years later. But there was some weird thing in my head, like, man, that was a good run. I didn't realize what runner's high was.
That's endorphins, Kevin.
But similar to what they're describing.
Yes.
Anyway, keep going. Keep
While it's normal for your brain to release dopamine when you've finished a task or eaten something delicious,
or somebody gives you a hug, or you masturbate, or there's a lot of things that release dopamine.
Self hugs, yeah.
Just,
using nicotine to boost dopamine levels can be dangerous. Each time you vape, nicotine tricks your brain into feeling rewarded. And the more you vape, the more nicotine receptors your brain creates. Over time, your body needs more and more nicotine to feel good. And when you can't get enough...
Now, boys and girls, we had a neuroscientist on the show.
Yes.
Who explained you don't develop new receptors.
You see shithead come in, right?
Yeah, I saw him. I just didn't have a place to stop and say, hey, Tic Tac, you know?
Well, there, now you do. Neuroscientist.
Yes. Dr. Charles Gardner, we talked about this. Why some people enjoy marijuana more than others is because they have a set number of receptors in their brain. The same thing with nicotine. Some people can quit easier than others because they do not have as many nicotinic receptors as other people. You don't grow new receptors.
Well,
You can experience withdrawal symptoms like anxiety, mood swings, and depression. If you want to take back control of your mental health by quitting, the Tomorrow Health app is free and proven to work.
Woo! It's so addictive. It's more addictive than heroin. But guess what, Kevin?
Yeah.
Spokane Health has an app for your phone that will make you nicotine free.
Lord.
They should just rebrand this for heroin to get all those people off of heroin if it's so easy to quit.
That's what it should. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Work. Learn more at chooseyouwa.org. When life gets stressful,
chooseyouwa.org, Kevin.
Man.
Now let's
public health miracles. They will never cease.
Yeah, let's. Oh, you got to close this.
Truth has said that their texting has got like 935,000 kids off of vaping.
So here's the quiz, Kevin. It only has 3 questions.
Oh fuck! All right, I'm ready.
So
I'll tell you what. I won't read them. You read them. I'll answer them if that's what you're trying to get me to do. All right,
One Juul pod
Yeah.
has as much nicotine as how many cigarettes, Kevin?
It's 740.
That's not one of the options here. You get 1, 5, 10, or 20. Now, do you want to use one of your lifelines to phone a friend?
Oh, I
you
should.
poll
but
the audience.
I only used it briefly, but I would say, in my own estimate of my use of that specific product, was 4 days worth of use. So that would have been a couple packs a day, about 8 packs. That's what the truth is.
No,
It replaced about 8
how
packs.
much nicotine is in a pod.
Yeah.
And how many cigarettes? So you only get 1, 5, 10, or 20, Kevin.
Well, 20.
Okay.
I
So
hope
the
I'm
next
right.
question, Kevin.
Yeah.
Which of these can vaping and smoking also cause?
Oh.
Cancer, weakened immune system, chronic bronchitis, or all of the above, Kevin?
None of the above.
None of the above, because vaping does not cause cancer.
Oh.
It does
Now I
not
gotta pick
cause
one.
chronic bronchitis, because I would have had bronchitis chronically for the last 12 years, Kevin.
Yeah.
Weakened immune system. I haven't had a cold, Kevin, in 12
Well,
years. I
pass.
didn't even get COVID when everybody else did, Kevin.
Pass. This is non-answerable.
This is a lie.
You've already got 2 lies so far.
Vapes contain
Yeah.
nearly how many chemicals, Kevin? 5 or 50,
Oh.
500, 1,000, or 2,000? I did say the word, but I did not say it in a negative context, Kevin. Or Steve.
Did you say 5?
50,
Good fucking
500,
Lord.
1,000, or 2,000?
Well, since they don't know enough, I'm going to have to go with 50, although it's 5 at the most.
Well,
go on.
Kevin, I made my liquid here, my green stuff here that I make.
Yeah.
It
2.
has PGVG nicotine, which is
Up 3.
3. That's 3.
Yeah, I got 3.
And there are around 13 flavorings in here. That's
All right,
just
so let's pretend it's 5 because mine really has tobacco type flavor,
Yeah.
which could be 2 or 3 things. Actually, it's 2, and then PG, VG, and Nick. So I have 5.
So I'm gonna click 2000 because that is what they want you to click.
This is skeered.
It says
skewed.
That's right. Studies show vaping products contain 2,000 chemicals. Many of them are toxic.
Good Lord.
So
what do we win?
If I go back to the start, I'm going to click 20.
Yeah.
The answer, yes, that's 20. That's correct, Kevin. This next one, is clearly a lie, Kevin. None of these are correct. I'm going to click all of the above because I know that's the answer they want you to get. Vapes contain the same cancer-causing chemicals as cigarettes, have nicotine, which can weaken your immune system, and have been shown to double the risk of chronic bronchitis symptoms. Kevin, I've been vaping since 2010. That's 14 years ago.
Yeah.
I haven't had... Well, I used to get bronchitis like twice a year, like clockwork when I was a smoker, Kevin.
Yeah.
Haven't had that, not once. Haven't had the only sick days that I've had to use in 14 years was from 2 knee surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
No cold, no wheezing, none of that bullshit.
I've been trying. I'm really trying to get popcorn on the best I can. I don't mean to disappoint anyone.
So
I haven't done it yet.
Actually did retweet this today, Kevin.
You did. I know. I saw. No response?
With the invitation, basically talking, in my tweet, I said, hey, look, I retweeted tonight we're going to peep at the, this website. We're going to debunk all their non-scientific lies.
Destroy.
They have not responded to me, Kevin.
No. I will say this. This is approximately, I don't know if it's 30 or 50. I'm assuming 50. 2 of these, and my other one I can't reach. I have 2 of these approximately a month that replace a 2-pack a day habit.
Yeah.
That's what these replace. Nothing more, nothing less. For Kevin, yours may only replace a pack a day, right? I don't know what you smoke.
Well, I mean, this is 12 milligram, Kevin. This is 100 milliliters.
Yeah.
12 milligram.
Yeah.
And I go through one of these a month.
Yeah. So you do about 100. I do 118. So I'm easily was a carton and a quarter a week, carton plus a week. So whatever.
Yeah, 2 packs a day is 12 packs, or no, 14 packs. So I went through 14 packs of cigarettes a week.
So they replace a different habit. Period. I don't give a shit how you do your math.
So when they say, well, a Juul pod,
right?
Phil,
has
20 cigarettes. Well,
right. Our friend the rodent will tag me every time he sees somebody comparing how many cigarettes, because the record I think is at 720, and then I apologize that they didn't win because they're below whatever who's winning. I can't remember. Yeah.
So we talked about the the Aussie penal colony people.
Paul's a penal colony.
This since Paul's here, we'll talk about Tasmania.
You crazy man and women over there.
Yeah, it says Tasmania set to get strongest vaping restrictions in the country and plan to override watered down federal law. So it says here, in short, Tasmania will be the first state to try to override upcoming federal laws on the sale of vaping products in pharmacies. Tasmania is seeking to strengthen the laws from October 1 so that vape product sales are banned for anyone under the age of 18, and only adults with a prescription can purchase them. So is it currently legal in Australia for a minor to buy them with a prescription?
I don't know. What's the smoking age to purchase?
I think 18.
Is it 18? I'm assuming it would be, but who knows?
Pretty sure. Tic Tac will correct me if I'm wrong.
Crazy Aussies.
So it says here, what's next? State Health Minister Guy Barnett says the legislation will be introduced in the coming weeks, describing the federal changes as being watered down and failing to protect the community. The Tasmanian Liberal government says it will override federal legislation and strengthen restrictions on the sale of nicotine vaping products to only adults with a prescription. Yeah, it's 18. That's what I said. For cigarettes. Federal changes came in July 1st that banned the sale of vaping products outside of pharmacies with consumers requiring a prescription, but they will scale back from October 1 to allow adults to buy them from pharmacies without a prescription. So on October 1st, anybody can get them from a pharmacy over the counter without a prescription. But in Tasmania,
thinking it was October.
That's what I said, October 1.
Yeah, earlier. I forgot to say it.
Oh. But now in Tasmania, you will still have to have a prescription.
Little devils.
That's the watered down. That's watered down. Okay, I get it now. So that's not good news, but at least the people that can't get to a doctor will be able to go to the pharmacy now, at least.
But the pharmacies don't want to do it either.
No, a bunch of them don't. That's true.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
They're placing it upon them to have this responsibility that they don't want or need. Period.
Mm-hmm. Well, the pharmacists have all sorts of other shit they need to do. They don't need to be worrying about vaping.
They don't prescribe cigarettes. Why would they prescribe this?
Yeah. So Kev.
Yeah.
Kev. What? We've talked about these vape sensors and cameras and all this, and that I felt like they maybe were an invasion of privacy and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
So here, let's look at this video.
Is this going to be liberties taken away again?
Well, just watch.
Parents are up in arms over a vape sensor that's been put inside Mooresville High School. Now, this system involves a security camera in the hall for surveillance.
But what really has parents upset is the door to the bathroom has apparently been left open. WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris put the concerns to school leaders tonight.
I received this photo from a parent in Mooresville, and it really shows their concern. This image showing a view from inside the women's bathroom inside Mooresville High School, and the door left wide open and a camera pointed directly inside. Now, parents, they worry that part of this is invading students' privacy.
I couldn't believe it because they have no privacy at all.
That was Michelle Domalewski's reaction when she saw the image showing one of the bathroom doors at her daughter's high school wide open.
I don't think they can do what they need to do in the bathroom without.
Now, Kevin.
What? All you're doing is pissing me off, and you know it. Go ahead.
Now, call me crazy.
Well, I will. Of course.
That door in that photograph has a tensioner at the top of it.
I can't see it.
It's an automatic closing door.
Well, that's easy for the janitor to come in and grab.
Right there.
Yep, it is. That's correct. You are.
It has bathroom doors are typically fire doors.
Yeah.
That is a fire break. That door is legally not allowed to be open. Not to stay open. It is a self-closing door.
I believe you.
Somebody had to physically adjust the tension on that door so that it would remain open in front of the camera.
Or it's just hanging the way it is because they loosened it so much, right? Yeah. Or it's propped on
that
the
is
side.
that is a code violation right there.
Well, there's civil rights and human rights violations.
In
along
addition
with
to the
code.
privacy violation, all
Motherfuckers.
the pervy, but whoever has access to this camera,
to
the video off of this camera, could
Girls'
easily have
bathroom.
adjusted the tension on that door so that it would stay open, so that he could get a peep show, even though from this angle you can't see inside the stalls, the doors.
Right.
But girls putting
Does it
on
matter?
makeup, girls
It doesn't
adjusting their
matter.
bras in front of the mirrors, all sorts of things happen in girls' bathrooms.
Oh, everybody's seeing them and hearing them.
A vape system was recently installed at Mooresville High School, where cameras are placed just outside the bathrooms and sensors installed to detect smoke from vape pens. We asked the school district about the new system.
Now, to me, if I was selecting where the camera would go, Kevin, it would be
down facing.
It would be so that you could see the face of the people going into. So if people are going into the bathroom,
a dome,
you're only seeing the back of their head. At least if it was going the other direction, you could see their profile when they went into the bathroom and when they exit the bathroom.
Right.
So you get two shots of identifying the rule breaking child.
Normally in a security firm, the customer, whether it's the principal or the janitor, whoever's in charge of putting the placement of an item, is in charge of that placement of that item, not the security company.
Exactly.
Normally. Not always, but normally. Or they.
Well, I mean, you can make suggestions, though. You would be like, hey, well, if you
can we be
down
birds and watch
hallway
through? Yeah.
So that you can get them from the side, you're going to get their profiles coming and going. This way, you're getting the back of their head.
If, for devil's advocate's sake, because you got to think about it, if they were facing just the mirrors, it would be the same exact thing to me. Why are you doing this? You know what I mean? They're not facing the stall, they're facing the mirror. So that's different. No, it's the same fucking thing. It's looking inside a bathroom. What's Michael say?
Michael said they should just put the toilets in the hallway to eliminate the guesswork.
Take the stalls away.
This is Florida. This is Florida. I wouldn't put it past them.
Motherfuckers.
They said in a statement.
Oh,
there's a statement.
Well, I got to go back to that shot.
Smoke from vape pens. We asked the school district.
Now, Kevin,
what?
I'm just looking at this textbook that's sitting on these classroom desks, and it says Florida biology.
Okay.
Is biology different in a different state?
Well, maybe. Now go back to the camera view one more time for me.
Was recently installed at Mooresville High School.
Right there. Now, to the top and the right, it looks like something else. Camera.
That's the camera. That little white thing on the ceiling tile right there.
So
circling.
So, in code, forgive me, it's been a few years. If let's say it's your house, and you have 4 bedrooms. In Ohio code, Ohio Fire Code did, probably still does, sleeping areas, which is your hallway, and each individual room must have, and each level as well, any sleeping room, any sleeping hall, common area, must have smoke detection. Okay, smoke fire. So
here in my house, there's 2 bedrooms over here in a hallway. So there are 3 fire alarms over there.
I agree. Yeah.
One in the hallway, one in each room.
Correct.
Even though they're literally like 3 feet apart.
That's yes, sir. Now,
and then there's one in the kitchen area. And there's a radon detector there and a fire detector there, smoke detector. And then in my bedroom, there is a smoke detector, and in our closet, for some reason, there's a radon detector in the closet. It's a big, huge closet, though. I don't know.
All right. So the other half of this, for instructional sake, if you will, is that the big black break on the wall that is a wall. It's a wall. How does smoke react, Patrick? It rises, yes?
Yes.
So if I'm inside the bathroom, it's going to have to go this far down, however tall that
starts
black
there and comes down depending on the volume. But yeah,
right. So the volume has to go below the black parallel, whatever, perpendicular. I don't know. To go under it to get out into the hallway. So it's got to go like this. It's got to go under.
Now,
that
when
black.
I was in school, those were windows.
I don't remember if ours is all brick, so it doesn't matter.
When I was in school, that black gap above the door frame there was a window that opened.
Right.
It had a hinge that would, the top of it would open up.
Huh. So,
but
if they have smoke detectors
blacked out,
if they have them inside, they should have them outside as well. But I don't know their code.
I don't know.
That doesn't look like a detector on that.
Commercial rules are different than residential rules, Kevin. I don't know. But
interesting.
But again, the placement of this camera, it looks right into the girl's pisser, which is
wrong.
Concerning to me.
Cameras are placed just outside the bathrooms and sensors installed to detect smoke from vape pens. We asked the school district about the new system. They said in a statement, there are cameras that include the entry-exit points of the bathrooms at MHS. These cameras show a viewpoint similar to what a person walking into the hallway would see. We take student privacy very seriously and adhere to all state and federal laws to protect it. Our commitment is to foster a safe and supportive environment where students and families can feel safe and secure.
No, you don't.
So again, the placement of that camera is sketchy, but the fact that the door is set
open
to stay open instead of closed like it's supposed to is not. That's a violation. That's a safety violation because that defeats the purpose of a fire door.
Yeah, fire block. So if it's only open because of the purpose of the photo, I will understand, comma, the camera does not belong where it is. Move that camera, you
right. But the only way to make that door stay open, Kevin, is to either physically hold it or to put a wedge under the bottom.
Yeah.
Or to adjust the tensioner so that it stays open and it doesn't have the appropriate amount of tension on it. Yeah. Now, when the fire people come to our facilities, all the fire doors have to, there's a time to pass the test. They have to open, and then when they let go of it, it has to close within 3 seconds.
Yep. Yeah.
So that door is supposed to close in 3 seconds so that if somebody is escaping the fire and they run through that door, it closes right behind them to prevent the fire from following them.
Right.
So the bathroom is supposed to be your safe zone, one of your safe zones. That is a concrete walled facility.
Yep.
So if you're in that room, the door will eventually burn, but it's designed to be fire retardant. So the fire in the hallway would not spread into the bathroom. And there are vents in the bathroom to allow fresh air in the case of a fire. Just the plumbing vents themselves will allow that to happen.
Voyeurism is not dead, obviously.
Yeah.
Domalewski questions if the open doors are part of the system.
Like in case something does happen in those schools, now there's no doors or the doors are stuck open and they can't even go to the bathrooms for safety.
We showed this photo to the school district and asked if the doors needed to remain open as part of the vape system inside the school. A spokesperson for the school district said, no, this door is not being opened as part of the camera system and can be closed by any person utilizing the bathroom at any time.
We want her to have the privacy that I had when I was in school.
Again, the door is supposed to close itself.
Why is this so difficult?
How are you not the janitor, the facility maintenance guy is supposed to make sure that door works properly.
I guess if I were the parent in that school district, I would, and I had a child in there. If I didn't, I wouldn't have as much right, but I still, as a citizen, should to walk in and be shown the staff bathrooms. because I want to make sure there's no cameras there, and I want to make sure their door will shut properly. And then ask why the adults have the rights to that and the children do not. And until a parent gets pissed off enough, they're going to keep doing this shit.
But I can't believe that a single parent in that school is not a fireman, is not an employee with the city that does building inspection. Right. Somebody at that, I mean, one of the students' dads.
Yeah. Well, that's the good old boy system, right?
Has to point out that this is bullshit, that door is supposed to close of its own volition, and it shouldn't have to manually be closed.
I don't think I've ever been to a restroom that didn't. I really don't.
Well, that again, we pointed out that door has an automatic mechanism on it. It's just that somebody's adjusted it so that it will not do the job that it's supposed to do.
Rephrase, public restroom.
But if the safety inspector saw that video, he should be immediately driving over to that school to write them a citation for fire violation.
Endangering the lives of children.
So, two dumb chuckleheads. I know the fucking rules because I used to be the safety coordinator at a facility. So I know that would,
Domalewski hopeful the school district will find other solutions to tackle the vape issue.
Putting a normal security guard back into the bathrooms will prevent it. Like, it's better just going back old school.
Having an adult person poke their of the appropriate gender, poking their head into the bathroom periodically to make sure that people aren't breaking the rules. I think that was one of our ideas, Kevin.
30 seconds for not using your own crack pipe to go down and check on the kids.
Please.
The school district added the school district level leadership are the only individuals with access to the camera system. They're also willing to discuss procedures and protocols with students, parents, and/or staff and adjust the system if needed. Guys, back to you.
Just fix the day before.
Something I don't notice is outrage for the newscasters. When they talk about vaping,
he's carrying water for the for the establishment, Kevin.
Double plus good. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Maybe it's just me and you that are pissed off. I don't know.
Well, maybe.
It must be.
Possibly. Now, this one.
Yeah.
This one's got a little chuckle to it, Kevin.
All right. I don't trust you. You know I don't. So we'll find
this
out.
one, I saw this one and I just said, well, why? Let's see if you scratch your head at the same time at the same place I did. Why is this included? Okay.
Okay.
So it says here, Tesla driver found asleep on Autopilot, arrested for trafficking meth-laced vapes.
You don't even need to read the fucking thing. What is wrong with this? Oh my God.
So I didn't understand why it was important to name the brand of the vehicle that he was in. I do think it was funny that the guy was using his Autopilot.
Well, you need to relax sometimes and pamper yourself, if you will. I guess if I
pulled over because he was sleeping behind the wheel, apparently, and they found that he had vape pens with meth and MDMA in it. But anyway, a Tesla driver was arrested Friday afternoon in Wilson's Mills after police found him asleep at the wheel with Autopilot function activated. The traffic stop led to the discovery of thousands of dollars worth of drugs, including vape pens laced with methamphetamine and MDMA, authorities stated. Michael Goodman, 25, of Lenore County, was taken into custody after police officers observed his vehicle cruising down US 70 while he appeared to be asleep. Well, that's what people want now, though. That's the thing is, I saw this video of truck drivers using Autopilot features on their semi-trucks while they played video games. So, despite the officers activating their lights and sirens, Goodman remained unresponsive. Wright credited the successful stop to a colleague familiar with Tesla technology who was able to wake Goodman by activating a sensor on the vehicle's autopilot. Once Goodman was awake and the vehicle stopped, Officers discovered the laced vape pens in his car. He now faces 4 felony charges, including trafficking meth and MDMA, along with reckless driving. I'm more concerned about the fucking sleeping behind the wheel myself. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, why are they even? I mean, are they including that he was driving a Tesla just because Tesla is the only car currently available that has autopilot, or are there other cars? I don't know. Or are they just doing it because they don't like Elon Musk?
I got to unpack this. So if you're sleeping while the car is on autopilot, it's a reason to pull you over. 1. 2, the police can stop your vehicle remotely.
Apparently.
The
well,
fuck is
I
that?
think
I don't understand.
like my car, I don't
Yeah.
have autopilot in my car, Kevin. I do have what they call lane keeping.
Yeah,
where
the ding
there's
ding or
sensors
whatever.
that detect the painting on the road and keep you
I had a
digital.
rent a car
And
that did
it
that.
has an auto brake feature. If a car in front of me slams on the
Annoying as
brake, my brakes slam too.
Annoying as fuck.
It is annoying as fuck. So I'm assuming that the police officer put his cruiser in front of that car, and then he
then it activates.
tapped the brakes until the gap between the cars got so small that the sensor stopped the car.
Okay,
That would
all right,
be
that makes a little better sense.
that would be my thinking. I don't believe that Elon Musk made the
Right.
cars Bluetooth enough that the police officers
Right. That's what I thought. Okay.
take control of the car. I think they probably just put their cruiser in front and then slowed down until that car stopped.
Okay, well that's actually a good idea then. I like that part, but I don't.
I mean, that's logic. They could possibly.
To me, I have a 2016 vehicle and I have a 2004 vehicle. Now the 2016, I'm a spoiled American, and it's got remote start. And
I don't have that.
And it's got Bluetooth for my phone.
I have that.
Wow, this is fucking technology to me. I never, ever want my car to be in more control than I am. I want no part of any of that.
No, I don't want autopilot. I don't. If I had a car that had autopilot, I would never use that feature. But I do.
For me,
I do enjoy the little screen on mine, so that because I do, I'm at a lot of new addresses all the time.
Oh,
and
GPS.
Back in old timey days, Kevin, you'd have to use an atlas if you didn't know where you were
cab
going.
drivers. Yeah, right.
Or when I drove here from Pennsylvania before all this smart shit came out, I got on. I mean, we did have MapQuest.
MapQuest. Oh, that was a changer.
and I would do the turn by turn.
Oh yeah.
Navigation and print out. I printed out the
17
entire
pages.
The entire
what page are we on now? 7.
And you would be, for me it was like because I could get into the middle lane and stay in the middle lane, and I knew how many miles it was between each turn, so I could hit the trip.
You were engaged in your driving experience. That's what I
could hit the trip, and then I would know, okay, I have 2 hours before I have to make a turn. I can stay on this road for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And play, whatever, listen to music or whatever. And then, okay, it's time for the turn. Where's my turn?
Now,
there's my turn. Okay, I'm going there.
Now,
the damn thing just tells you.
You got the box and it says turn right. And I was like, man, I wish I'd have had that driving cab. Holy crap, I'd have been quicker. But
all these Uber drivers, Kevin, they got it so easy now.
They got no idea. How
you don't have to have that big old atlas that you're trying to, because that book, the atlas was a big, huge book, and if you don't have a co-pilot, if you don't have a co-pilot, you're just like opening the atlas, going, okay, I'm here.
We had them by county books, and you could get a county of your map of your county. I don't remember who made them, but there's 30, 40 pages, and you just alphabetically, you're going to X street, you go to X, and then that's how you get there. You got to still figure out how to get there.
All these young
You
people.
little shits don't know nothing.
Oh, speaking of little shits that don't know nothing, Kevin, I saw a tweet this week that has nothing to do with vaping at all. But I did reply to it because it kind of I kind of thought it was humorous.
I thought you were riled up.
Well, let me find it. I'm scrolling down here. I'm almost there, I'm sure. Yeah. So this guy, Will Truman, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Will Truman tweets, outrage. Outrage. He says, some people think banning electronics from college classroom all the time, not just for tests and stuff, is a hard-ass move, but it's actually a nanny-state move. Might still be the right thing to do, but it's the opposite of preparing them for the real world. So, Kevin, when I went to college originally,
in
and I took a math class,
1957,
we actually had to use what they call the blue books. You had to write your answers. It was a big, huge, not a big, huge, it was a paper booklet, and each student had to have one for each test. You had to go to the bookstore and buy the blue book for your test, and you would write your name and the date and the test, the class or whatever, and the teacher would have the test written or printed on paper, and he would hand them out to you, and then you would have to do the math in the blue book. And then you would turn in the test at the end of the class, and they wanted you to show your work, how you got to the, But then when I went back to college, like 20 years later, I was required to buy a $120 Texas Instruments calculator for math class. And then you just had a Scantron sheet with a piece of, a paper with the question and the multiple choice, and you had to come up with the answer on your calculator and then just mark your Scantron sheet with the correct answer. And they did not want to see your work
because they knew. Now they're testing to see if your calculations are smart, not you.
For me, I think it's beneficial for these people in school to learn how to do it without the calculator.
Yeah.
So that they know how to do the math.
It's a manual process, right? Right.
So, what happens if one day the battery on their phone is dead and their math app is unusable, and they still have to calculate if you're building something and you want to calculate their, what you need or the, whatever, you're still able to make those calculations without having the electronic device do the work for you.
My son asked me why I still have my maps out in the garage. I said, what if all the GPS goes down and I can't ask Google or use my GPS in my car? I have a separate Jeep. I don't have GPS on, and the car itself doesn't have it. I don't have OnStar or nothing, but I don't. I like it. Don't get me wrong, but I can still read a freaking map.
That was my old man yelling.
Show your work.
People, you had to show your work. You couldn't just write the answer on the test. And
how did you get that answer? And
I did it in my head. You wouldn't get full credit if you didn't show your work.
Right. Yeah, I remember them days. Fuck.
Yeah. But
in my day, we didn't have calculators. We weren't allowed to have calculators.
Well, no, they had abacuses when you were
fingers and toes.
Yeah.
21 was only difficult, and never mind.
Abacus.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the last of the YouTube portion of the show, Kevin. I have one more little piece to talk about on the YouTube portion of the show.
C charts, yeah.
Well, I don't know about C charts. That's like old man in the sea sort of, information here.
Old man in the island of criminals. Yeah.
Well, he is old.
He's maybe, instead of message in the bottle, we'll have to do vapes in a bottle and get him over there to him and Bruni.
Well, it's
and
possible.
Baker B. Yeah. Hey,
But yeah, here's the story, Kevin.
I'm ready, I guess.
Parents are being warned to check their kids' Halloween treats after several children in the East Bay gummies infused with THC, and one
They're
child.
not. No, they're not.
This is real. These candies were apparently given out at a what they call trunk or treat event over the weekend. This is in the parking lot of Earhart Elementary in Alameda. Crown 4's Amanda Harry joins us now live in Alameda after talking with police and the superintendent of schools about how this can happen and how parents can try to protect their kids.
So, trick-or-treating events, you got to now check out your kids' candies because somebody's spending a lot of fucking money handing out THC gummies.
Yeah,
I mean, because I know that they're not cheap.
They got grandma's stash intertwined with their regular stash. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Kids, Amanda.
Alameda Police and the school district are both investigating this incident. So far, they have 4 reports of kids that received the gummies. One of them did eat those. They want people to go out and have fun on Halloween, but they say this is a reminder to take extra precautions.
So,
oh my God.
Again, now this is a different video for this news piece. The news piece says vapes caused psychosis for Bay Area teen who tried to fly away, lawsuit claims. A 16-year-old San Francisco area boy went missing and tried to board a flight in the midst of a cannabis-induced psychosis episode caused by a THC vape pen, according to a newly filed lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed this week against a popular cannabis company, Stizzy. The boy, identified as KG, thought the vapes could ease his stress and anxiety after seeing cool advertisements on Snapchat, attorneys say. Ads promoted vapes for achieving wellness and relaxation. KG was a minor at Monte Vista High School in Danville when he started vaping. The lawsuit states vaping was commonplace at the high school and among teenagers in his community. Plaintiff went from using Stizzy vape products socially with friends a few times a week, which increased to plaintiff vaping each morning. Ultimately, plaintiff vaping defendant products multiple times per day. Instead of improving his anxiety, THC had the opposite effect on KG, attorney said. Now, Kev, you know this is a fact, that there are a small percentage of people who use THC products, marijuana, or, back in old days, even just regular old doobage.
Yeah.
There is a small percentage of people that are non-diagnosed schizoaffective or schizophrenic patients who don't have any symptoms until they smoke pot.
Right.
There is it is a thing that does happen. Now, I'm not sure if, and we'd have to look up the research, if that is always on their first usage, or is it after it reaches a certain level in their brain chemistry that it does become effective, or that it starts the symptoms or not. But it is a real thing. So this could be one of those situations. Right. So it says here, the 16-year-old boy was experiencing hallucinations from Stizzy products when he snuck out of his parents' house, stole his dad's truck, and drove from his home in Contra Costa County to San Francisco. KG put himself in dangerous situations and went missing, attorneys wrote during the teen's episode of Psychosis. He became convinced that he was a celebrity rapper. Now, Kevin, now you have fallen prey to the devil's lettuce before.
Oh, yes, I have.
Now,
yes, I have.
Did you ever, while under the influence of that stuff, did you ever have hallucinations or lose your identity and think that you were somebody else?
No. I watched my brother think that the cops were at the door, the Guns N' Roses.
Paranoia is a thing.
The paranoia. he thought the cops were at the door because of the whistle on the radio that was way too loud. But no, other than that, I've never seen or experienced or know of.
So I mean, I've
Paranoia.
never enjoyed the usage of that product. It doesn't do anything for me. I would much rather have a couple shots of, a good whiskey.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's got their own thing.
But I've never, in my experience, may not be encyclopedic in this area, but I've never heard of somebody having hallucinations from plain old pot.
Not in that sense, no. And
now, this sounds like Reefer Madness sort of situation over here. Where
I never thought I was a rapper either. I didn't.
Yeah,
I can carry along with some songs, mind you, from the 80s, but you don't want to hear that from me today.
I've never had this anyway. KG went to San Francisco International Airport, where he posed as a famous rapper and tried to board a plane. After he was refused entry, KG went to Cartier and Tiffany luxury jewelry stores, still claiming to be a famous rapper. KG eventually became lost, fell asleep, and was found by police officers who called his.
Was he driving a Tesla? Because something about a Tesla.
Illusion continued for days and was placed on an involuntary psychiatric hold. You're quite aware of that in California. In December of 2023, KG experienced a similar psychotic break and was convinced that a stranger he met at the Concord Mall was a record producer. The teen had grandiose thoughts and felt compelled to buy cars, jewelry, and fly away because he was so successful. His friends eventually called his family to rescue him from his state. So this is a multiple event situation.
Yeah. This ain't the first time.
So he was hospitalized, required antipsychotic medicine, and underwent addiction treatment and rehab. He has since stopped using cannabis, but remains at high risk of relapse. Well, it seems to me that he might be in that situation where he is neurodiverse and needs to actually have some testing done to get a real diagnosis, because what we were talking about is quite possible. Cannabis-induced psychosis, known as CIP, is a bad high or a bad trip. Blah 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 blah. But again, I would believe that maybe he needs to have some further medical care to see what it is that he is suffering from.
I'm with Michael. You have an attorney who says this is let's assume he's 16 because I didn't pay attention. Your underage child illegally obtained a product and you want to sue the company.
Yeah.
And that's viable in the United States.
More and more, Kevin. More and more. Personal responsibility is no longer a valid.
Let's pretend Logan steals my truck and he's going to be 6 in October. It's probably time he's going to become a delinquent any minute. Am I to sue Chevrolet? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, you made the truck too enticing.
That's what what is wrong with these friggin' people?
I don't know.
Will he win? It's the same thing with the jewel case. You're saying the children illegally obtained a product they're not allowed to buy, and now you're upset because your children obtained a product or alcohol or anything else. Where's the fault? It's placed somewhere else every fucking time. And the whole country goes, yeah, except us, evidently.
Yep. Well, Kev, we're gonna
good.
Go get your coffee.
Good.
Go get your coffee. We're gonna come back. We have 3 or 4 pieces that we're gonna discuss on Rumble.
All right. Well, fair warning. Stop aggravating me because I'm getting a little tired of your shit.
Some of these might just do that, Kevin.
Make it quick. Hurry up.
But all right, let's find a video piece.
I love all of you except Patrick.
Yeah, we'll see. I put the link in the chat. We'll see you over in the Rumble. In the Rumbles in I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes there. We'll play this one.
Science is back. And I choose science over fiction. And so if the science is demonstrated it's doing great damage, then I don't care what it does to a small business person who's selling this stuff. If it is damaging lungs, if it's causing the kind of damage that is said, and that study's not been fully done yet, if it turns out that it is, then I would eliminate it. I would make it, I would go after it in a hard way. I would make it broader, not just for he is.
If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful.
In England, the Royal College of Physicians has apparently done a great deal of research on e-cigarettes, and they have actually found that compared to smoking cigarettes, the rate of damage from e-cigarettes is 5% of what it is from smoking traditional cigarettes. You're reducing the damage by 95%. Hey, I don't think vaping or e-cigarettes are good for you. But if you have to choose between smoking and vaping, I happen to feel that vaping is safer. I don't think vaping is good for you, but it's better than smoking.
We're going to choose science over fiction.
And FDA has not used that terminology to use the most recent estimates of youth use. I will say that I'm an epidemiologist by training, so I'm fully cognizant of the definition of an epidemic, which is unprecedented increases over what you'd expect at baseline. That said, I think and know that the science has shown a decline in the number of youth users, and that's a good thing.
The FDA today calling it a dangerous epidemic.
The FDA calls teen vaping an epidemic.
I don't care if you think I'm